Onyx Circle, as you are now officially known. They were just finishing celebrating the summer festival in Letest. A few of you guys, participated in a good grouping of the competitions. One of you decided to participate in all of them.
Woo!
You guys had fun. Made your way through the day. Made it back to the Squawking Box, everyone's favorite little hideaway. And most of the party, I would say at least half of them proceeded to start to drink, enjoying the summer festival, as a few of you waited around the fight circle. And after a short wait, you guys were greeted to the champion of the fighting ring, which turned out to be Lady Katmera. So yeah, that was fun. Cletus and Deimos Ares kind of got, trying to think of a delicate word for this, destroyed. They were both taken out in one round and pretty much in an instant.
Ow.
And the party, and especially Cletus, noticed that there was some anger coming from Lady Katmera, that seemed to be directed towards Cletus for some reason that the party has not yet figured out. So our party kept drinking throughout the evening. One by one, you guys went to bed. And as you were going to sleep, not too long after, you guys started hearing noises, thumping, crashing. And you guys woke up to go to the Platinum Band's room, where you guys heard the noises, and Cletus and Deimos Ares broke down the door, and you guys saw a mysterious figure sitting there over the, I don't want to say corpses, but bodies of the Platinum Band. You guys saw Daylock on the bed, not moving. Damarel had a pretty big and sizable wound in her gut, sitting on a bed. And Raylon was on the ground, prone, looking up at the attacker. And the attacker was a cloaked figure that the shadows kind of seem to dance around it and cling to it to the point where it's very difficult to see who or what it is. So we will start this adventure again with Deimos Ares, the human barbarian paladin, Nat, the awesome sorcerer wood elf. You got Conrad, the amazing tiefling ranger, Sin, the little gnome wizard, Cletus, the minotaur fighter, and last but kind of least, if you go by height, but not least in our hearts, Corin, the pixie bard. We will move over to the scene that you guys last saw.
Okay.
And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Please don't come close to our namesake.
Yes, single digits.
We suck.
That's not low enough.
Okay, not bad on the party's end. Okay, how this is gonna work is it's kind of like a surprise round. You guys just busted in, and he did look over at you guys, but you did kind of catch him unaware. So you guys are gonna go ahead and have one full round, and then we'll start at the top of the order, but it will go in the turn order that you see on the screen. So Conrad, you are up first. What would you like to do?
So, first things first, Conrad's going to go here for a clear shot.
Okay.
And he is going to, Hunter's Mark the guy
Okay.
as a minor action. And then he's going to Thunder Tusk Boar Strike the guy afterwards.
Okay.
His
Your
attack action.
field of vision narrows on the man. You now have your target. Man, woman thing.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Wombo.
Yeah. I will pretty much just keep calling him a man just because it saves time.
Yeah. Yep.
The attacker. There we go.
So he's going to just say, son of a... And then he's going to draw his bow and fire.
Okay. Scroll down a little bit. Okay. You let loose your Thunder Tusk Boar Strike, 2 arrows notch, you let him loose. And with the first one, and like he was kind of looking up at the group, when you guys first came in, and he was kind of taken aback. But as soon as you let loose those arrows, the guy starts moving around them. And they just, the first one dodge, second one dodge.
All right,
So just
my
kind of
turn.
looking at the group. Okay, Nat, you're up.
I'll go over here and I'll cast Acid Claw on him.
Okay.
Boop.
Okay. You congeal your, disgusting looking acid claw, and you kind of just swipe at him, and the acid kind of sprays right on him, and he just kind of stands there. The acid hits him, but it doesn't seem to phase him.
That's what Nat says. That's my turn.
Okay, Jaemissaries. He is going to, looking at the situation, he is, let me see if he can pass his intelligence check. See if he'd be smart enough. Well, it's kind of wisdom too. Okay. He yells out for Quarren to go help Daylock because he seems most jacked up, and he is going to charge forward. He will actually rage before he does it, or he's gonna rage on it. So he's going to move up. Wait, did I miscount the squares? 1, 2, 3. Nope, just enough. Okay, and he is going to scream, running at this guy. He's not really charging, but he is screaming. As you see, Jaemissaries kind of swell up in size as he's screaming, and he's going to let loose a Mace Tail's Rage. And he just swings wildly with his hammer, and the cloaked figure just kind of ducks right under it. Yeah, ducks right under it. Gordon, your go.
Close burst 5. How many squares is that?
Close burst 5, it will just be center, or starting on you, 5 squares out.
Okay. Then I'll... Can I split up my movement? Like-
Yes.
Well, I'm firstly gonna move over here.
Okay.
Cast... Can I get both of them somehow?
Looking at your spells, no. I do not believe you have one that would be able to get both of them.
I actually do.
Yeah, wait, let me measure it. I think... Yeah, if you move there... what's your movement speed again?
My movement speed is 6.
Okay, yeah, you moved a little bit too far on that one.
I'll
Yes.
dash and use my action point.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. Dash, action point, bonus action, majestic word, and then Song of Courage, hitting him in the back.
Hold on 1 second.
Wait, no, not Song of Courage, Words of Triumph. That's the one.
Okay, go ahead and roll them.
Well, Majestic Word always the same, and Burst of Triumph. Half damage.
So what's your charisma modifier?
5.
Okay, Burst of Triumph. Again, let me look at that one. So, what's your majestic word for this one?
Rejuvenate!
Okay. So you go to land your, you fly up, you say rejuvenate, and little sparkles form around Raylon and Daylock. I would say because he's that close to you, Daylock looks a little bit better, but he's still down and not moving. Raylon's, he looks a little bit better. He wasn't really too messed up like outwardly, but does seem like there's something wrong with him. Like he's still on the ground, kind of like frozen up. And you move up and you try to stab him with your weapon, the cloaked figure, and he just kind of sidesteps right out of the way.
Half damage, and I still get the aura.
Yep. Let me see. That's 5 squares, so that's pretty much everyone who's. If you're within 5 squares of Corrin, you get a +1 to your hit rolls or damage rolls. Damage rolls
Both.
and saving throws. Nope, it's just bonus to damage rolls and saving throws.
Yeah.
Okay, and will that end your turn?
Well, I did everything I could.
Okay. No, it's a valiant effort. Like Daylock does look better. He did have a wound and closed up, but he's still not moving. Cletus, you're up.
How tall is this guy?
It's kind of hard to tell with the cloak, but about under 6 feet.
Okay. I'm going to
Compared to you, yeah, he's much smaller.
use Goring Charge on him.
Okay. Okay. And as you do so, he sees him, he kind of looks around at everyone, and then this giant minotaur is starting to literally just charge him with his gigantic horns. And as soon as you go to hit him with your horns, he immediately, and why am I not seeing this? Give me a second. Parrot, I suck. 1 second. I gotta find it. I failed as a DM.
It's alright.
Oh.
I should have had this prepared. Now I'm looking through a book for a power. There's only 2 books I can look in. Ba-da-da-da. As you run towards him and drive your horns into him, his form begins to quickly and very rapidly shift and kind of change into a cloud. It is a dark greenish and black cloud that that kind of, as soon as you ram into him, he kind of just disperses into a cloud, and the cloud kind of like swirls around Daemissaries, Corrin, and Cletus. And you guys, as soon as you breathe it in, it is noxious. Let's see. Effect.
Real fast, I am marking him.
Okay.
So.
And you guys take 35 damage.
Bye, Corin.
I'm on 1 HP.
Wow, Jesus.
And
Not 36, 35.
And you see a it's almost like a quick burst of energy. It's very dark, very similar to the cloud that expelled. As this figure disappears, you hear a kind of crash outside the window.
Oh, I broke the other window.
You could have went to the same window.
Did it,
I know,
did
right?
he,
That was the open window.
does that count as
Okay.
shifting?
No, it was a teleport.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah, so
Shifty
this was
holiday.
instantaneous movement.
Got it.
And is that end your turn, Cletus?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over. I'm here. I'm gonna go over to Dame Morel and give her.
With that movement speed, you'd have to spend an action point just to move over there, and that would end your turn.
I should be able to move
Oh,
6.
Goring charge is a charge.
Yeah, Goring
sorry,
charge.
that was my bad. Okay, you can
Okay.
move over there, but if you need to do anything, wait. Still got a minor action, so you'd be able
Yeah.
to give her a potion.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a potion.
Okay.
Potion. 4. And that's my turn.
Okay, you give her the potion, and the wound on her stomach does kind of close up, and she looks very apprehensible when you give her the potion. And she can barely move. You kind of basically have to give it to her, but she does kind of give you a look on her face like she is not happy about this.
I imagine not. She's not my biggest fan.
Yeah. Does that end your turn?
That ends my turn.
Okay, Sin, you're up.
Sinkos will run into the hallway and yell for help.
Okay. You do so. I mean, you guys just broke down the door, so you just step out into the hallway. Do you move your full 30 feet into the hallway to try to get towards the stairs?
Did I remember the people going upstairs before we went to bed?
I mean, you guys all saw most of the squawking box workers going upstairs.
I'm gonna get as close to the upstairs as possible then.
Okay. With your movement, you'd make it about like halfway down the hallway.
Okay, and then I'll yell for help.
You do so. You scream out.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Actually, wait. I would use ghost sound to make a bell sound, since that's a minor action.
Okay. What do you do for your sound?
It's gonna sound like as loud of a bell as I can make it.
Okay. Do so. It's a loud bell. It's not like a church bell or anything.
Mhm.
It's a little outside the scope of that, but I mean, it is pretty loud.
Mhm.
Does that end your turn?
Yep.
Okay. You guys aren't quite sure where it's coming from or, what it is, but you guys do see a quick flash of energy by the window. It's not quite green and it's not quite blue. It's kind of a mix in between.
Turquoise.
It's
Ooh.
sort of. It's kind of like a turquoise, teal, cyan, kind of, that range. But it's very dark. There are crackles of electricity in it, but it seems to be swirling within darkness in a cloud. And it just kind of blasts the window that is open, and that is it. Okay, Conrad, your turn.
All right, so one question. It's a minor action to administer a potion to somebody, right?
Yes.
All right, so Conrad will go over here and give a potion to Daylock.
Okay, real quick, I'll let you do a heal check real quick before you try to do this. It won't cost your action.
All right, what would that be?
Just a heal. The heal skill.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay. He looks pretty okay. But his skin's still a little bit pale, and just like Demeril and Ravon, like he's breathing, but there seems to be like he just can't move.
Thank God.
Would it be? Hang on, is that like even a? Like, what would it be for me to try to figure out what's causing that?
Give me a knowledge nature roll. But if you do this, it will take up your action.
I'll do that.
Okay, who's ever rubbing? Try to cut it out. Okay. You in your past, you've seen a lot of plants, animals, and things like that that don't like to be eaten, and ones that tend to be weak or small, they tend to rely on poison. You know that poisons can have all sorts of effects, from instant death to paralysis to just giving you a little queasy stomach that makes you kind of have the runs. With how the party's looking, especially with Raylon not taking too many like big hits, but he's kind of seized up and not moving, you're pretty sure that this assassin used a paralytic potion. And without a direct antidote to it, it's probably just something you're gonna have to wait.
So Conrad, just using his free action, will tap his ear
Okay.
and say, "Looks like they've been paralyzed with some type of poison." Sorry.
I mean, you guys all hear that. Does that end your turn?
That will end my turn. Yes.
Cletus
Nat,
says no.
Nat, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'll go over to Raylon over here.
Okay.
Try and try and pick him up.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Yeah.
Given his size and his armor, this will take up your action.
I still talk to the group.
Yes, that's a free action.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, you try to move him, but you're not quite sure if it's just because he's stuck in an awkward position from being paralyzed or what. But yeah, you go to pick up his arm and your fingers just kind of slip and kind of drop him back into place.
Oops.
Grunts a little bit like, "Rrr."
Whoops.
That is your turn?
Nat says, if they're poisoned, the only ones who have had, the only ones who would possibly have antidotes is the guards. Didn't they say they bought?
Do an
Didn't they bought the
intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, come on!
You don't know. I mean,
I-
whatever you think you know is whatever you think you know. Yeah, basically, and just because there was one person who asked, if you guys are ever trying to remember something that your character would, do an intelligence check. If you roll high enough, I will tell you what your character would know.
So I don't
But
know.
apparently, Nat was not paying attention,
Oh, I
or
don't
she
know.
just didn't care to remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my turn.
Okay. Well, Damasaries is going to see that, looking around, seeing that everyone's kind of taking care of business, is going to come over to the window and going to attempt to. He looks out. He's going to look back and he's going to touch his earring, saying that he doesn't see him, but he's going to give chase. So he's going to go to step on the windowsill, and as soon as he does, you guys watch as the whole thing just crumbles. And Damasaries. Okay, he fails his check, so he just kind of falls right out the window. You guys hear a very loud thud, and as Damasaries just fell out of the window.
Ooh.
Basically, what you guys see right now is the couple feet of wood that kind of makes a window on the bottom part is now just gone. Like Damasaries went to go lean on that to jump out, and it just gave completely. So
Instant decay.
So he's down on the ground and prone and hurt.
Ooh.
Okay, that will end his turn.
Corin will touch his earring and ask, "Are you alright?" to Damasaries.
Okay.
And say, "Don't give chase, he's not someone we can handle."
Okay.
And then I'll move over to Dialogue and take his pulse.
Okay, give me a heal check. Okay, you give him a once over, you check his breathing and stuff like that. He's, he seems better after that healing. You didn't really, none of you guys really got a good look at his wound, so you're not quite sure how bad he was. But he is unconscious and just not moving. But he seems okay. With that roll, I would say that you probably think the poison may have hit him a little bit harder than everyone else.
Then I'll ready an action and keep checking his pulse. If it gets any worse, I'll administer a healing potion.
Okay. Cletus, here go.
Cletus is going to run over here and jump straight out, holding his ear, saying, "I'm going to the guard station because I know they have healing for poison."
Okay. Well, go to the window and give me a strength check.
Strength? Okay. Damn it.
Okay. Go ahead and move your token next to Damasaris.
Hi, buddy.
Okay. You jump out the window. It is only a second story height, so it's not too bad. But you do not really catch yourself. Take 3 points of falling damage, and you are knocked prone.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Then you're up.
I run closer to the steps
Okay.
stairs, and I yell out, I yell, Platinum Band's been poisoned.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check if you would like.
Okay.
You are calling out, and you're probably listening. Are you not?
Yes, I would be.
Okay. Figured that would be your goal, is to yell out and Okay. You do hear some movement coming downstairs. Nothing from upstairs, but you do hear someone saying, like a muffled, like, "Huh? Let's," and you hear like some people like the wood creaking and stuff like that. So there's a commotion going on downstairs right now.
All right, and that's all for me.
Okay. And with that, I will say combat is officially over.
Okay.
You guys are not quite sure where the person made it off to. No one was able to see his direction of escape, but as it is of right now, none of you guys could catch up with him. So combat is done.
Probably shouldn't, considering he almost one-shot the whole group.
Yeah.
What was that?
And we probably shouldn't, considering he almost one-shot our whole group.
Yeah. 35 max damage. Good God.
Was that max
I know.
damage?
It was
Yeah.
not.
It wasn't? It says it's blue.
Nope, it was
Blue
10,
means
1,
one
10.
high roll and one
Yeah.
low roll.
It maxed on
Oh.
2 of the dice, but one of the dice it rolled a 1.
Oh, wow. Oh,
It could have been
Jesus.
9 more damage.
Ouch. Then once Majestic Word gets off cooldown, Corin will heal again.
Okay. You do so. And after a few moments, Cletus, you're able to stand up, and you and Damasaris stand up, and he looks a little like, oh, that sucks. But he looks over to you and sees that like at this point you have like basically skin burns kind of around your face and eyes, Cletus. You don't look too good. You don't feel good. You're probably coughing. You're probably sweating real bad. Whatever that smoke was that you inhaled is definitely taking a toll on your body, and you feel it. And Damasaris is gonna reach in and grab a potion and hand it to you.
I'll take it.
And he looks at you like, should we go to the guard station?
Let's.
Okay. And so you two take off. And the rest of you, anyone else want to do anything?
So Corin, he still's pretty banged up, right?
Corn's looking pretty ragged too. Like he has similar burns and stuff like that. There's blood coming out of like basically holes in his skin.
So,
Yeah, he got racked hard with that, whatever that like poisonous, just nasty cloud was.
Corin, you're not looking so hot, and kind of offer up a healing potion to him.
No, keep it for when it's more needed. I can take care of myself.
All right.
Just if off cooldown, I'll use Majestic Word again.
All right, Conrad will say putting the thing back, and he'll still keep on checking Daylock just to see if he's still, breathing.
Yeah, I mean he still looks a little, like there's still a little bit of sweat and stuff like that. I mean he looks kind of like how Raylan and Demerel both look, kind of like slightly paled skin, sweating, and their muscles are kind of tight and stuff, like they're seized up. But Daylock is one step further in that he is unconscious. But
Okay.
he's still breathing. His heart rate's okay.
Did
I
you
mean,
say he was conscious a minute ago?
No, he's unconscious.
Okay.
That's what the red X is. After a few moments, Sin, are you waiting in the hallway for a response?
I go up to the 3rd floor.
Okay. By the time you get up to the
Now's not
3rd
the
floor,
time.
you hear commotion of the door as you see Kane, Trey, Gelios, Yulan, Gypsy, and Tyriok coming out of their rooms. Most of them were asleep, but they're coming out. Only one of them brought their weapon, which was Pain. But they look at you, Sin, and they're like, "What's going on?" And as they're kind of like rubbing the sleep out of their eyes.
I say to them that on the 2nd floor, the Platinum Band was poisoned by a mysterious hooded figure, and probably should get down there as soon as possible.
Okay, and as soon as you finish saying that, you see the door, or you hear like heavy footfalls coming up from the 4th floor down towards the stairwell end. As the Squawking Box employees start moving towards the stairs, and then as you turn around to look, there is Cat Mara coming down the stairs.
Oh, jeez.
You could have sworn with those footsteps it was a giant walking across the floor, but it was Lady Cat Mara.
Ooh.
Okay.
And she's just looks at you and like looks towards the Squawking Box employees. She's like, "What's going on?" Still kind of serious tone.
I repeat what I said, and I said we should probably go down there.
Okay, she looks towards the Squawking Box members and they run down. After a few moments, by this point, Korn's probably been able to pop off his healing spell again. They're still looking down. Raylon and Damarel still can't move. Daylock is still unconscious. But you guys hear some heavy footfall coming through down the hallway as you see Sin and the Squawking Box employees coming through the door.
Does anybody have any way of dealing with poison?
Lady Cat Mara looks at you and just starts walking over towards you guys. She's gonna give a once over on Daylock. Okay, she just looks at you, Corn, and then you, Conrad, and kind of like looks at Daylock, and she's like, "This lad only needs some sleep. He'll be okay."
Okay. Conrad says, he looks concerned. Like, visibly he looks concerned, but, like, he nods.
When you look at Cat Mara, she says it with a kind of like a strong tinge of confidence. Like, it's gonna be okay.
Okay.
I will
but then
try to roll an insight.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Karen doesn't care.
Actually,
It's
could
dark.
Conrad do that as well?
Yeah. Cat Mara is being truthful. She said that this young lad would be okay. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As she looks towards the rest of the group and seeing that the rest of the Platinum Band seem to be in one piece, she looks towards the rest of you guys and says, "One of you tell me in the morning what happened. I'm going to bed." As she just turns and walks out the room. As soon as she leaves, you kind of see the rest of the Squawking Box employees kind of poke their head in the room. The two up front are Tyriok and Pain. Tyriok is wearing his, very famous silk thong, and you see Pain standing there with a very fluffy white nightie, holding a very, very fluffy-looking teddy bear with these very fluffy-looking rabbit-like slippers. And upon closer inspection, if you like really look at the slippers, they're like legit rabbit heads slippers. And she's just sitting there with, her gigantic mace just slung over her shoulder with one hand, teddy bear in the other one. kind of like rubbing her eyes with the, like the free hand of the mace as she has it kind of resting on her forearm and shoulder, just kind of hanging over the back.
All right. So one thing Connor will do is like, I'm assuming Daylock's basically in bed, right? Or
Yeah,
is he
he's in
lying on
bed.
top of it? Okay. So he'll just kind of tuck him in, I guess, and then he'll walk over to Madeline with Raylon and try to help her pick him up again.
Okay. Both of you guys give me a strength check.
Hey, one sec. Strength. There. Nope.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. You guys try again, but he just kind of slips and he just kind of looks toward you guys and he's like, "Don't worry, just give me a few and I can handle myself." And Payne just walks in, just kind of walks past Sin and looks over the room. She's like, "So is all the fighting done?"
Yeah, it's done.
Well, we should have...
She just sighs, drops her hammer to the ground, and starts dragging it down the hallway.
Wait, we might want to have somebody take out in case the perpetrator comes back to finish their job.
Payne looks over at Tyriok, the other Squawking Box members, looks back into the room. She's like, and she just continues walking, and there's a quick hush mumble between the Squawking Box as Gypsy walks over towards the window that had been busted. She starts waving her hands around and starts chanting some arcane words, and within a few moments you see the pieces of the window start collecting and reforming, and within a few moments you see the window itself has been reformed into a window.
Ooh.
And she's like, "Just make sure it's locked," as she turns around and walks out the room.
Have we actually met Gypsy yet?
No.
Well, Connor will actually do that. He'll go over and lock the door. Or lock the window.
You do so.
And as the Squawking Box people are leaving, I'm like, sorry.
Tyriok looks at you, and he smiles. He's like, "It's okay." As he has this really dumb, goofy smile on his face. And for those who have not seen Gypsy or Donathus, you can now see them under the character thing. Moose, go ahead and pull out the picture of Donathus.
Mhm.
Followed by Gypsy. Give it a few moments, and then just switch over to the other one. And let me know when you're done with that.
So kind of like a tiger, cat girl. And a gypsy.
Yep. Good, Moose. You show those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so those are the two other employees that you guys have yet to see, but they were with the group. So you pretty much assume they're probably Squawking Box employees. And the whole group just kind of meanders down the hallway and starts heading back up to the third floor. By this time, Cletus and Demasarius have made it to the guard station. You guys walk over to the building. There are 2 guards outside.
Okay, I will tell them what happened. That we might need some cures for poison. Just fill them like, hey, so there was an attack at the Squawking Box. There's 3 people injured, and the assailant is still on the run.
And it's a younger looking guard with a middle-aged man, and they're like, they hear what you say, like, "Of course, we'll send a guard over towards the Squawking Box immediately. We'll also alert Captain Welton." And one of them runs inside as the other one starts running towards the gates. And after a few moments, you see 2 more guards. They're kind of getting themselves together. It's pretty late in the night, so you're pretty sure that these are probably people who are sleeping here on reserve or something, but they're putting it back together, their armor and stuff like that, and starting to make their way towards the Squawking Box. Demasary sees this and starts heading back.
I follow him. I go up to my ear and ask the guys back at the Squawking Box, hey, any updates?
You guys all hear it ringing through your head.
The guy. So I do the ear thing again.
Sure.
Lady Cat said that they should be okay for now. They just need rest.
I tell him, alright, we're headed back. There's some guards coming too. I don't they'll probably want to hear from us.
Okay.
And as Cletus and Daemonsaries are making their way back, everyone in the room, you see the Platinum Band starting to move. Raylon starts to like strain and like you see him start moving his arms and stuff like that as he reaches up, and you guys kind of got to give him a little bit of a hand, and he just kind of sits down in a chair. Gamorel starts moving from her position. Daylock is still just kind of sleeping, and Corn, if you've been watching over him, you notice it is a shift. Like, he seems to be much more in a restful sleep now. Passed out. Raylan looks to you guys and says, I thank you for your assistance.
Karen will say, feeling all right there? Like, are you getting your movement back?
Like, he sat down in the chair. He's like kind of moving his arms and stuff like that, kind of stretching a bit.
So then, after he sits down, Connor will say, "Did you get a good look at the guy who attacked you? We didn't really see him that well."
He shakes his head no. And he looks up at you. He's like, I couldn't see him, but seemed to know who we were. He kind of caught us by surprise. Daylock didn't even wake up as he kind of gestures towards Daylock, and he's looks around. The Damarel just got out of bed, and I just got to my feet to apprehend the attacker when he struck at both of us, poisoning us.
Am I near them?
I mean, yeah, you're in the room now.
Can I insight check?
Raylon?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. He seems honest, seems kind of shaken up and surprised by this just as much as you guys are. Like, he was asleep, some guy came in the room, must have heard a commotion or something, woke up and tried to stop the guy. He got poisoned.
I ask, could it have been the previous leader of the Platinum Band?
Raylon freezes and looks towards you, and looks towards Daylock, and he says, where did you hear that from?
I've just heard around, from no one in specific.
He's gonna insight check you. Go ahead and give me a bluff check. Ugh. Roll high. Okay. Kind of like squints his eyes at you. He's like, but he kind of backs off a little bit. It's much of a less of a defensive stance. He's like, so rumors have already gotten out.
Yeah.
And he kind of like looks down again. He's like, our previous leader should be dead. That may be something completely unconnected. Maybe.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Connor will kind of butt in and say, "Whoever this figure was, they were able to transform into smoke and teleport themselves away. I'm not sure if your leader was capable of that."
I mean, he was a pretty secluded man. He looks towards the party. And he said, kind of looks towards the group. He's like, you guys at least deserve the truth. You did save our lives. But I'd rather only tell this story once. So if you don't mind, much rather wait for the rest of you to return.
Connor nods.
Kind of like chuckles to himself a little bit. He's like, and it would be nice to be able to have free range of movement. Kind of like shakes his arm and stuff like that. Like, he's still struggling through the poison. You can tell, like, he's able to move, still shaking off like the effects of it a little bit.
Nat says, I'm glad you're gaining movement. I didn't want you to have to sleep on the floor. But
Yeah, like a pretty good deep chuckle.
Corin will move over to the door and see if it was broken into.
In perception check. And Sin, you were gonna say something?
Yeah. When I came back to the room, did I notice like how the window looked? Like, did it look like it just was like a fire? Or, like, did it look singed, or did it look like decayed? Or
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
okay.
Okay. For Corn, you check the door and stuff like that. It is kind of shattered from you guys barging in, but it does look from how the door was kind of broken in that it was latched. So the door was locked. You guys did check the door before you came in, and it was locked. So you're pretty sure that it was locked from the inside, as all the doors are, and it'd be hard pressed for someone to do that or get through that without leaving some sign, unless he's a good thief or he used some arcane arts. But I will say, with that perception roll, when you guys did come in, you guys did see the one window open, the yellow one.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's a pretty good assumption that he probably came in through the window, since he had no problems leaving the window. And Sin, the window itself had been fixed, but that was more structural stuff. There is some remnants of like the floor and stuff like that does seem to be affected by the spell. You recognize what Gypsy did to fix the window. It is something that you have in your repertoire, and that it's very specific, and she must have not used it on everything. So there are traces of what the person used. And with what you see, it's kind of hard to pin down. When you use fire, there's singe marks. When there's electricity, there's certain striations and stuff that could be left in whatever it hits. Poison, has its effect on things. Acid kind of boils things away. This, even with that roll, it's kind of hard to tell. Your best guess assumption is it was some arcane admixture. You do know from your studies that people, arcane practitioners do get to the level where they are able to, they mastery mixing the element. You're pretty sure that this is one of those, and with the possibilities of admixtured magic in the loop, it's really hard to say. It does seem very. It's almost like everything was turned into like a. That's kind of what you're seeing.
So it's not like it was aged super quickly or decayed.
I mean, anything that could cause something to turn to dust. I mean, with that roll, you could assume that it could do it. So maybe enough fire, maybe enough, something. But it does seem to show off signs of multiple arcane magics.
Okay, so so doesn't seem like it's like necrotic or anything like that.
It does look like it could be necrotic.
Okay. I say to Raylan then, I mean, it looks like that could be. I don't know. Maybe he came across some magic that allowed him to come back or something.
Kind of stares at you then for a few moments. It's really hard to read his face, and does a lot of blank stares, but his eyes do narrow on you. Pauses, and he looks towards you. We'll discuss this when the rest of you return. Kind of like turns away and just kind of stares back at the desk and stuff that he's at.
Okay, that's all for me.
Okay.
Well, I assume the others are getting back. I've also locked the window and it's not already locked.
Okay. Yep, you succeed in locking a window. Very good job.
Yep. And goes back.
Okay. No, roll dexterity. I'm just kidding. So after a few moments, Cletus and Damasaries returns. You guys hear the heavy footfall coming down the hallway, and you see your two large friends arrive. Oh, see, you're already on it. And the whole group has returned. And
I got you.
And after a few moments, you guys actually do see Daylock kind of darts up out of bed and kind of breathing heavy, like looking around, and like he realizes the situation. And he just kind of settles down, and he's kind of panting. He's like, "Oh, I had the worst of dreams." And then he looks over at the door, looks over at Raylon, kind of shaking. Damarel, kind of messed up looking. Like, "Oh, I guess it wasn't a dream."
Reality has even worse.
Was that?
Reality has been even worse.
Okay, do you say that to him?
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, what happened? He just looks towards the group.
Looks like some guy broke into your room and attacked all three of you.
Like, but I feel fine. He checks himself.
Yeah, we healed you, and the sailor managed to escape, but he basically paralyzed you with some type of poison. It wore off by now, we assume.
As he kind of moves around, stuff like that. I'm gonna do an intelligence check on him. Ooh, natural 20. Huh. Yeah. He's gonna look towards the group, and he's gonna look towards Raylon, Damarel, and the rest of you. And he's like, if he was gonna poison us, why not use one that would be deadly?
Don't know.
Maybe you wanted some kind of information?
Ask Raylon. Do you know who it was? Any idea? Did you go a good look at him?
He looks towards you, Cletus. He says, no, that damnable cloak he wore and seemed to just completely cover him up. I heard a slight low growl coming from him when he was right before you guys busted down the door as he was standing, coming at me, but that was it.
Although, from what Daylock just said, Conrad says, does bring up a good point. If he wanted to kill you, he got the drop on all three of you. He could have just killed you pretty easily. If he paralyzed you, maybe he meant to take you guys alive.
Well, none can really know the minds of the attacker unless they know them, who the attacker is. I mean, Platinum Band is famous, known for having abundant wealth, connections. We do look after some ancient artifacts within our order.
Do you have any specific enemies?
He just kind of like looks around the room and like looks out the window or towards the window. He's like, and he just kind of gestures towards the window and he's like, anyone out there?
Daylock, do you have any specific enemies? Because he kind of seemed to be more intent of harming you than the others.
Daylock just kind of shakes his head no, like, no, I was raised at a temple and I was immediately moved to the Platinum Band after my training, and this is my first mission. I've made no enemies in my life. And Raylon, seeing that the group's here, he's like, so you asked about our previous leader.
Were the guards still here? Did they, like...
The guards are kind of like out in the hallway, kind of staring in at this point. They're kind of talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
He kind of looks towards the group and he's like, I can tell you that I highly doubt the attacker was our former leader. And he looks towards everyone. He's like, please just have a seat. It's troubling enough to try to look at all of you, or up at all of you. My neck's kind of chuckles. It's still pretty stiff. So do you guys get comfy, stand around, what?
That's it.
Corin jumps under the bed.
Okay.
Also on the bed, too.
He looks towards the group and he says, well, as you know, I feared rumors have already been spread about of our order. We were created not too many years ago, and he looks up towards this, like just at the empty top of the room. He's like, at this point, the Platinum Band is only 2 years old. It is a new order, but our previous leader, he brought a fame and reputation to the order that allowed us to grow as quickly as we did. He was a famous adventurer. I I do not wish to speak ill of him, even though path had fallen to darkness. Know that he had had a troubled life from what we had heard, but through prayer and dedication to our Lord Bahamut, he found a way to his own. And that way was to create an order of light and good in the world to always stand against the darkness. He kind of looks towards the group and kind of lowers his head. He was a good man. He was friendly. He was helpful. Never let his darkness consume him from his past, but you could always tell when he would gaze about, our keep or at new members. He'd always, sit in contemplation and, memory of his previous life, and you could tell there was a darkness and sadness to it. And he pauses for a few moments. When our leader fell to the darkness, it was immediate and swift. None of us knew what was happening till it was already too late. He attacked the council members of the Platinum Order, myself included. There were previously 4 members of the council. Myself, and he points to Damarel, our previous leader, and one more named Greenlee. During the incident, the leader had struck Greenlee and dealt him a mortal blow. In our pursuit of the leader as he escaped the keep, he did go off the cliffside, and we assume he fell to his death. He was trying to make his way into our inner vaults, but could not do so. And we have a feeling that us giving chase kind of faltered whatever plans he had.
Did you find his body?
No. And he looks towards you, Corn, and drops his head. The keep that our order sits on is on the edge of a cliff on a lake. When he fell, he was lost to the torrential waters that lay beneath.
Did you use any... I think Colonel would have to make an Arcana check if he knows of ways to check if somebody is alive or dead. I'm guessing.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. Magic can do all sorts of crazy things, but offhand, you don't know of anything specific that would be able to do that. But he looks towards you and he says, no, I mean, we aren't all as practicing arcane users as other people. But with the resources we had at hand, we did do a thorough search, but mind you, there have been training accidents around this keep where those who were on the beach or, similarly low areas have been swept away in tides, and we've actually lost a trainee before to the waves. So, losing his body is something that is, it's common sense that it would happen. I do know that this means that there's no guarantee he is dead, but we're pretty sure we dealt the mortal blow to him before his fall.
Well, from what you're telling me, it does sound like this Salem couldn't be him. Conrad says.
And who asked about the arcane stuff? It was Yusin, right?
Yeah. In regards to what it looked like the magic was on the window.
And okay. Raylan looks towards Yusin and he says, our leader was enigmatic man. That's the best way I'm going to pronounce that. Jesus Christ, I'm murdering that word. Not all of us knew everything he was capable of. I knew that he had studied arcane arts, but it's hard for me to say what he was truly capable of. All I know that is none of the other council members could best him in one-on-one combat.
Oh, okay.
And Daylock at this point has kind of curled up on the bed with the knees towards his chest. He's kind of looking real down at this.
Conrad will actually go over to Daylock, just kind of say, he's still feeling okay?
And he's going to whisper towards you and he's going to say, I knew I should have talked about the leader. None of you were supposed to know. That's all he says.
Conrad will kind of put his shoulder on him, and just kind of whisper back, "It's okay, we're just trying to figure out what happened."
Okay. At this moment, you hear, kind of a noise coming through the hallway as armor clanking and people are like calling out stuff. As you see Captain Wilton enter the room and look around, looks towards the group. What transpired here this evening?
Some assailant entered the Platinum Band's room from that window, we believe. Conrad points to the window. And he attacked them with some poisonous weapons and managed to do the three of them. We entered in after hearing some disturbance, and the assailant managed to escape. But the three members of the Platinum Band are okay and seem stable now.
And he just kind of looks towards Raylon and he's like, "Does all of this ring true?" And Raylon nods towards him. Like, he looks towards you, Conrad, first, and then start towards the other group. He's like, "Well, it's a good thing that you guys came to their rescue. I must report that none of the guards have seen anyone entering or leaving the town. But this is not the only other incident that has happened this evening. So," and he looks towards the group, he says, "if all things seem accounted for and in good station, I will place guards here, but I myself have to depart, and have to deal with that other incident."
What
And-
other
Yes,
incident
real quick,
happened?
Yeah.
And he turns, but as you guys both yell in unison at him, he turns back. He says, "There was an incident at the mine. Workers down there who were working the late nights are complaining of an attack and a collapse on a few portions of the mine. Happened moments ago."
Ask her if they need any help.
He looks at you and kind of gives you a half smile. He's like, "No. I mean, we should be in fair order. I mean, collapses in mines happen. We're not sure if these two incidents are related, but I'm going there just as a precautionary measure."
Just to let you know, Conrad says before he leaves, we weren't able to get a good look at the guy, but he seemed to be wearing some weird shadowy cloak that kind of kept him shrouded.
Looks at you kind of inquisitively, kind of brings his hand to his chin, kind of thinking. So you're saying that the assassin may have magical items that may enhance his ability to remain undetected?
Definitely seemed that way. When he escaped, he appeared into a puff of smoke and basically vanished out the window.
So
And
even though our guards have not found anything, that may not mean nothing.
and that adds in he seems skilled. I personally would advise caution. That's what she says.
Well, and he looks towards Conrad and you, Nat, and he says, "I thank you for this information. I'll be sure to pass this along all the watches."
He nods.
Captain Welton nods towards the group and heads out, and he whispers something to the two guards there, and you see that the two guards kind of stand at the door, kind of put their weapons up like they're, basically at a guard station. And Damon, Jesus Christ. I almost called him Daylock too. It was a cut hair away from calling him Daylock, and it's just really got to come up with new names for other characters. Don't worry, there's not going to be another Day character name for a long time. I think we've hit our quota.
The opponent of Damon, Nightlon.
Okay. He rolled a fucking 19. That's not bad. Oh, crap. I gotta start doing his stuff on Roll20. Actually, I will go ahead and cancel that and do it on Roll20. Doesn't roll super low on this one.
Yeah, our luck has been a mixed bag today.
Okay. Well, he just kind of scratches his head and that's it. Looks kind of like he's thinking about something, but he's having trouble gathering and putting his thoughts into words.
Mm-mm.
You gonna be okay there, Daylock? Conrad says.
What was that?
Conrad says, is he gonna be okay? Is he, he's just looking at Daylock, asking him.
He kind of nods gently, not really even looking at
All right. Well, you should probably get some rest. Try to wash yourself of this incident for now.
And after you say that, Raylon speaks up. He's like, "Yes, I think we should all get some rest." He looks towards the group. He says, "You look," and he kind of definitely looks at Cletus and Damasaries, who are a little bit more banged up than the rest of the group, kind of inquisitively, and it's like, "Yeah, I think it would be best if we got some rest. I think we should, we could look at this matter in the morning, but, I mean, if they're posting guards and things like that, we might as well take advantage of this security and get some rest."
Yeah. Downright nods.
Damasaries is the first one to start like walking towards the door. He's still like scratching his head, like he's deep in thought. Like the one cogwheel in his head is spinning.
And that causes him to move slowly.
Very slowly, like he's just one step at a time. We've already gathered Damasaries walking and thinking does not really go hand in hand.
Nope.
What do the rest of you guys do?
I'll go over to Raylon, just kind of pat his back, just say, be safe, and then head on out.
He nods and, towards you and says, "Same to you."
Nat asked the Raylon, "You sure you don't want to be on the bed?"
He said, "I will get there eventually, less."
Yeah, I pat him on his armored shoulder.
And as soon as he does like, as one gauntlet does touch your hand, like, thank you.
No
As you pat
problem.
his shoulder.
No problem.
He doesn't say it, but like, that knowing, like, hand on the hand, like, thank you.
I nod at him.
Then you're just gonna stare him down all night, give him the evil eye.
Why me?
What do you really know?
No, I go over to Daylock and I ask if he needs help going to sleep.
He looks towards you and like, "Well, Master Sin, I'm actually really afraid of what help you would offer me, so I think I'll just try to lay down."
Okay.
He's right. He's right.
But you do see the first smile you've seen on Daylock since entering this room.
All right, and then I go. I certainly. I say, yeah. Bye. And then
Okay.
I just go to the room.
Yeah. Bye.
Daylock afraid of sin.
You can
And then-
just.
Where do you guys
see-
go?
Tyler's
Go to my
going back to his
room.
room, yeah.
Okay, so
Bed.
everyone going to sleep?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, you guys all make your way to bed. And after that, quick, brush up in the room in the encounter with a mysterious person that kind of just disappeared in a puff of smoke. You guys find yourselves to your bed. Do you guys lock your rooms?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I assume so, but yeah, you guys lock your rooms. You guys get ready for bed, put down your weapons and stuff like that, and you guys make your way to bed. And I need to steal Moose and Conrad for a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to sidebar.
Buddy left your channel.
Here.
Channel switched.
Hello.
Okay, Moose. You can go ahead and pull your headphones off if you want to avoid story spoilers, but Conrad has a thing.
All right.
As soon as I find Conrad's thing. Okay. Okay. You're pretty tired. You're still a little drunk. You're pretty sure the reason why you missed those boar's tusk strikes. You're confident. You're like, man, I would have totally missed if I wasn't swaying so much. Now I'd definitely be able to hit him if I wasn't seeing doubles. But you slowly lose that train of thought, and as you just kind of drift to sleep. And as you begin to fall asleep, you begin to feel a familiar sensation. Bizarre one. And when you try to think back where you recall this this sensation, it's kind of hard to really grasp. But again this night, the dream feels different, and you find yourself observing scenes from an outside perspective. In your dream, you see a woman. The image is blurry and it's hard to make out the details, but you start seeing her just as a baby. Left an orphan by a mysterious woman who gave birth in an unknown town with people surrounding her not knowing who she is, and who immediately passed away from childbirth. The child was taken in by a couple to be raised. But in only a few short years, more trouble would arise. A power slept in the child. And even at a young age, the woman was, in her infant and young child stages, were able to draw out and use arcane abilities. The child was particularly drawn to fire, and at a young age started to cause problems by burning things. It almost turned into an obsession for this child. And just the thought, the look, the feel of fire just seemed to really cling to them. And is not sure why she felt the need to do it, but she continued to do it. Eventually, the parents had given up and gave her to someone else to deal with. Then another family. Then another. Finally, after a few years of being, tossed from family to family, she was finally taken in by a mother and her child who were able to deal with her abilities better than most. She had siblings for the first time that she enjoyed. Fell in love with one of them. A strange love, for no matter what he did, she loved him. But he never fully shared the same feelings towards her. Eventually, she had a chance to embrace in love with this man during a drunken night at a festival, which led to her giving birth to 2 twins. Shortly after the birth, you see the woman, taking care of her children in her home. And again, that long-time obsession of fire, which never subsided even in her new life, came back to haunt her. Her once love of burning things and using her powers to further that obsession now came to cause her great damage for the first time. While sitting and playing with fire, there was an accident. Her powers flared up more than normal, and the fire burned out of control. Since she could only create the fire and not really control them or extinguish them, it led to an out-of-control flame that burned one of her children. The child was not really that hurt, just caused a quick scarring and burn. But her reputation along with this story made its way to others, and many people called for the removal of the children from her care to save her home, since the woman could not control her powers. This led to her, for the first time, taking instructions from a local arcane specialist. As part of her training, and to allow her to keep her children, she was forced to wear a magical collar that would suppress her powers so she could learn to control them. She spent the next few years tediously sitting through lessons and trying to learn about her powers so she could continue with her life that she had. Not too many years after the birth of the children, the father left without so much of a warning. And the woman's heart was just completely broken. Just because he did not act like he loved her, at least she was there with him in her life she had. But with his departure, she felt alone. The woman's mother told her to look for him and bring him back, and that she would take care of the kids until she returned with her son. The woman's love, until she returned with her son, the woman's love, and the children's father. And so the woman set off in search of this man into strange lands and going very long distances. Then your dream slowly starts to fade as you begin to wake up. Okay, head back to the other room.
User left your channel. You were moved. Buddy joined your channel.
Back, Moose?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Okay, after a very long, crabby night for most of you, you guys all begin to stir. It's early morning time. Sun's creeping in through your guys' rooms and stuff like that as you guys stir awake. I'll just go down the line. Sin, what are you doing?
I wake up and I go down to the bar.
Oh, wait, real quick. Sin, as soon as you wake up, you notice a very strange scene. As you wake, your whole entire bed is frozen. As you go to sit up, your sheets and stuff just kind of crinkle and crack as they almost shatter as you sit up.
Neat.
And it is so cold that there is even like when you breathe, there's that cloud of misty from the, cold vapors hitting the moisture in your breath. And funny thing is, you don't feel really cold. You just see that your entire bed is frozen over.
Can I think to myself if this was nocturnal emissions? Something gone wrong?
Go ahead and give me an arcane check.
Okay.
Okay. You're a very studied arcane specialist at this point. You've done a lot of research. You do know that, as a wizard, if not done properly, your spells can go haywire. But that's usually when you're casting spells. Wizards, like, being you are it's studied magic. You're not overflowing with arcane energies. It's not so much about, like, it's much more control and knowledge and, twisting what's already there. So you've never heard any recollection of a wizard's power, just bursting out at night.
Does my right arm look any different?
Do you look at your right arm?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, you look at it, and there are some slight frost crystals on it, but other than that, no.
Is that the same as my left arm?
You look at your left arm, and not as many ice crystals.
Huh. Now, when I said arm, I was including the hand. Is that the case as well?
Yes, your right arm.
Mhm.
It looks much more colder and icically than the left one.
Oh. Okay.
And with that Arcana check, I would say that your best guess is where this ice seemed to originate from it.
From the right arm?
Yep.
Oh. That's awesome. I just continue going downstairs.
Okay.
I
and
guess.
yeah, but halfway through you like getting ready and stuff like that, the ice of the bed starts to melt. I mean, nothing seems weird about your arm. It feels just like an arm. But you start heading downstairs. Moose, what are you doing?
I just get up.
Okay.
I just slept in my shirt today, so it's none of that. And yeah, she washes her face up a little bit, and she just checks her stuff,
Okay.
and then she goes downstairs.
Too easy. Conrad, what are you doing?
So Conrad will kind of, wake up.
Okay.
He'll wash himself up first.
Okay.
And head downstairs.
Okay. Cletus, what are you doing? If you're talking, you're muted.
1
You should
second.
give him a minute.
I get up, I wash myself off, and then I head downstairs. Sorry, I was eating a chip.
Pretty long chip. Okay. You do so. Corin, what are you up to?
Wake up, wash up, and take a sip of the special wine.
Okay. Just a little sip of it?
Yep, just to get the taste in the mouth.
Okay, yeah. It is a perfect blend of sweet and sour. It is just gold on your lips. Like, it is just, Tastes so good.
Yes.
Yep.
And head downstairs.
Okay. As you guys are leaving your respective rooms, you look into the hallway and you see other doors starting to open as you see your fellow Onyx Circle members wiping the sleep from their eyes, beard all gathered, walking downstairs. No one says anything, they just keep walking.
That says hey.
Okay.
Morning.
Damon Sayers kind of like does a half-assed wave. There is still some slight bruising on Cletus and Damasaries, but between the healing they got and good rest, they're looking better than they did last night. Conrad's probably looking a little bit woozy. Might be squinting his eyes a little bit.
I asked the group if anyone had anything weird happen because I woke up on a frozen bed.
On a frozen bed, Conrad says.
Yeah. It was frozen. It seems to have come from my hand, I think. I don't know.
Damon Sayers looks at you, Sin, and he just gives you the biggest non-believing look ever. You don't even have to roll insight. He does not believe you.
Can I roll to remember something?
Go ahead.
What was it? Intellect? Base intellect?
I mean, what are you trying to remember?
If the
Yeah.
crystal went into that arm?
Well, Sin, did you say which arm just now?
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't.
Said my arm. I mean, you can take it. I mean, it as your character.
Well,
since-
remembering the crystal thing. Maybe
Okay, yeah.
maybe that.
I mean, you remember him grabbing for it, and it kind of liquefied and went inside his arm. Or are you trying to memorize specifically which arm?
Yes.
I mean, I would say that you. I mean, do you remember which arm?
Ah, I do not.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check then.
Woo!
Okay. You remember that when he reached out with his right arm towards the crystal, it liquefied and went inside of his. It went down his right hand and kind of slowly started disappearing within the flesh around his hand, wrist, and arm on his right side.
That says to him, didn't that crystal go into your right arm?
Yeah. I think that might be what's causing it. And then I tell them what I heard the cleric to the
Oh,
ice elemental.
okay. And do. Sin basically tells you all that the one night that he was kind of ignoring you guys. During that night, he went to the Temple of Bahamut in town to talk to the head cleric there. Where the head cleric was able to give him some information. Most likely the gem itself or the obelisk, no one's really quite sure. It probably housed some elemental type creature. Sin's knowledge with the help of the cleric, they were able to determine that a real level element or a real low level elemental, like a basic elemental or something like that, wouldn't have the power to do something like that. So either A, it is a much more powerful elemental type entity, or the gem itself had some type of ability to house, contain, and not really possess, but enter in Sin's body. But otherwise, no one really feels that Sin is in great danger, and the cleric did try to detect whether there was a good or evil entity within him, and it did not register as evil. Not sense any malicious intent from the creature that was inside of his arm. But he did detect that there's something going on with his arm. It's outside of the knowledge that Sin or the cleric possesses. He does also say that he helped translate the book that they were kind of looking into. It was a book primarily based about the primordial princes, Cryonax in particular, since his domain is the cold.
Please say, is there a way to get him out of your arm?
We don't know. I asked if we should amputate. He didn't seem too keen on that.
When he mentions the name Cryonax, if you would, anyone who cares, roll me a history check.
I care. Dang it!
We all know Nat doesn't pay attention to history.
Oh.
Okay, Conrad, you've heard of this old tales of the great Dawn War that was part of the creation myth of the worlds. Is that the gods fought things known as primordials, and one of the primordials, one of the stronger ones, was Cryonax. It was an ice primordial prince, and you do know that they were very powerful. And one thing I forgot to mention is one thing that Sin and the cleric did come together is while it might not be a lower level elemental, it's highly unlikely that the entity would be Cryonax, because that is so much power that one mortal vessel would probably break under the pressure. It would literally explode with energy.
So Conrad will say, well, from what I know about Connex, it probably isn't him. He's too powerful of a primordial being to, enter you and have you be alive with him.
Maybe it's Crowneck Jr.
That says, regardless, something that just goes inside of your body like that doesn't sound safe.
Yeah, Conrad says.
That's coming from the woman. Zing.
Okay. As you guys are having this conversation, making your way down the stairs, you guys get to the tavern part of the Squawking Box, and there you see Lady Catmera wiping down the bar.
Conrad will wave.
Okay. And
Yes.
she waves back. The same jovial smile that you guys first saw on Catmera has returned.
But as soon as I see her, Cletus runs back upstairs.
Okay. You guys watch as Cletus turns around and starts walking back upstairs. He
That's-
actually has to move a few of you guys out of the way.
That says, Cletus, wait! As he runs up there. What's wrong with him?
Dame Mysteries continues to walk, and he walks right up to the bar. And she's like, "Oh, could I get breakfast round for all of you?"
Yes, please, Conrad says. And some coffee, too.
Like, gives you guys a big wink. She says, "Coming right up." And after a few moments, she comes out bearing 2 gigantic trays of breakfast food, coffees, juice, like that. And she just kind of sets them in front of you guys. And she walks over to Dame Mysteries and kind of like grabs him by his chin and like turns his head, noticing the slight bruising on his face. And she's like, "Oh, I hope it didn't hit you too hard, hon." And she like slightly smacks his face a little bit and smiles at him. Kind of rubs it and, smiles. She's like, "No, I'm okay."
Cletus is gonna go check on the Platinum Band since he doesn't want to go downstairs yet.
Okay, and as you turn and start making your way towards the hallway, you do see their door, which is shattered. They basically, someone, you're not quite sure, seemed to have covered up with a curtain of some type. There's 2 guards standing in front of it still. One looks half asleep, the other one's kind of standing at attention. As you see the curtain open and you see Raylon, Daylock, and Damarel start walking out down the hallway. Raylon immediately sees you and, hails you with it by raising his hand. Good morning, Sir Cletus.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
Much better, as he's, like doing the last, like, straps and stuff out in his armor and stuff like that. He's like, much better. That poison really didn't suit me well, but, we're all recovered, as he looks back toward Daylock, and Daylock's kind of mopily coming out of the room, right behind Raylon and Damarel.
I say, glad to see you all up on your feet. It'd be a shame to lose this beauty that is Damarel. I don't touch her. I just kind of motion to her.
Okay. Give me a second.
We'll tell your story.
Okay. You see her glare at you with an icy, just frosty look, and
Ooh.
let me go. You take 6 points of cold damage.
Oh.
But you feel within the deep core of you, like with what just happened, you should have been hurt more by it. But you do notice that your hand, as you gestured out and motioned towards her, like it does, icicles do form, and it covers your hand, and it does burn with how cold it is. But just looking at your hand, how much ice has just encapsulated it, you feel like it should have hurt you more, like almost as if you somehow more resistant to the cold just for a brief moment.
Maybe she's warming up to me.
but she doesn't say anything and just
I know.
right behind Raylon.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put my hand around Daylock, and of course I got Daylock here. Glad he's well and alive.
Okay, he looks over and sees your like half frozen hand. Oh, who am I getting an echo on?
That was me. The headphones popped. I put it
Okay.
back in.
You know, Daylock quickly glances over at your like half frozen hand. Like you're not able to move your fingers yet. They're just like barely twitching, and it's just kind of resting on his shoulder, like basically in the same gesture when you motion towards her. And he looks back at you and kind of cracks a half smile.
There's a smile.
And he blushes a little bit, but keeps walking.
Okay.
And they make their way downstairs. And Raylon and them, you know, kind of wave towards all of you guys sitting. Are you guys all sitting at the bar?
I think so.
Yep.
He waves towards you guys, but then goes over to a different table, and Daylock follows him over, and they three sit at a table. Within a few moments, doesn't say anything to them. Just she disappears into the back room, and after a few moments, comes back outside with a tray of food. Just kind of puts it on their table and walks back towards the bar.
So, just for flavor's sake, can I say that Conrad's sitting by Madeline?
Sure.
So, as he's eating his meal, he's just kind of speak up, like while he's drinking his coffee and all that. So, I said some things last night. Conrad says to Madeline.
Yes, you did. She replies back.
Yeah, I honestly probably shouldn't have said any of that.
Oh, you want to keep it hush hush, huh? She gives a slight
No.
smirk to that.
No, it's.
Question, real quick: have you reaffixed your tail, or are you still letting it free flow?
I'm actually letting it free float now.
Corin listens in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, he's just gonna say, but I appreciate you talking with me. It kind of helped.
Oh, no problem. I was unsure of a lot of things too, but having Syncos say those things, it really opened up my mind a bit.
You also mentioned that I could talk to some people. Connor says, like some people that you know, I guess.
Well, considering my family consists of mostly tieflings, perhaps
Oh.
that's
Like
And
were you
almost like
adopted?
a gigantic cosmic cue. You guys hear the front doors of the Squawking Box open. There's a very young man, probably maybe 14 at the most. He has kind of a satchel to his sides that's slung over his shoulder. As he walks in and looks around, he has an envelope in his hand, and as soon as he looks over and sees you, Nat, he starts walking right towards you.
hi. That's it.
It's like, hi, are you Miss Natalie? Or Naturia?
Yes, I am.
And like he like looks at the letter and hands it towards you. And he's like, "Oh, this came for you."
Thank you very much. I give him a gold.
Okay, you flick him the gold. He's like, "Oh, thank you very much, ma'am." As he kind of like almost kind of half skips out of the room. You read the letter or open it up?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You open it, and it is a very simple letter on very simple paper. You'll borrow Moose for a second. Unless you plan on reading this out loud. Do you read it to yourself first?
I'll read it to myself.
Okay. Sidebar.
Channel switched. Buddy joined your channel.
Okay. As you open up the letter, you're immediately hit with a very familiar handwriting. This is definitely Lele's handwriting. And the letter reads like this. Dear Naturia, how are things going on your quest to hunt down my dummy of a son? It has only been a couple months since you have left, yet this home since you have left this home. and only 3 months since Loire left, but it feels so empty without you and Loire around. I hope you keep safe on your journey. It is a dangerous world out there. And I remember some of my adventuring days before I settled down, so I know how rough the world can be. Things have been going well here at home. Rita and LJ have been doing well. They have been kind of quiet lately. Since you have gone, they mostly just keep to themselves. Kibler has stopped by a couple times to see if you have written, and hopefully I can tell him good news the next time he arrives. Hopefully you can find the time and means to send us an update, but I will continue to write letters just in case we hear from you. Safe and focus on staying alive and dragging that idiot back with you. This old woman is taking care of everything here, so focus on your task at hand. All the love, Liera Sundergaard. And right below that, it's the writing changes. It's very almost hastily scribbled on there, and it says, P.S. I was freaked out when this very large griffin appeared in the center of the village. I almost quickly grabbed my old gear and went to attack it. Luckily, I saw the package, I will give your gifts to the children and put that money to good use. I am not sure where you are, but it must be an amazing place if this is how you sent the mail. I hope this letter makes it to you. Kibler helped me stop the beast to give it this letter, and will continue to write in case it arrives again. And the letter ends.
Okay.
Buddy left your channel. You were moved.
Nat smirks and maybe like chuckles a little bit at a certain part of the letter.
And probably towards the end, a little tear.
Yes.
Cletus is going to use the earring and just say, hey guys, if anything important happens, let me know. Use the earrings.
Coward,
Oh,
how about you come back
So Cletus
downstairs?
didn't come back downstairs?
No, he's still upstairs.
Corin says to the earring, dude, this shit's crazy. Natalie just took her shirt off and started dancing on the table.
Does that hear that?
Yeah, you all hear it. Daemis looks over and he talks in his earring. He's like, yeah, and we're getting ready to, fight in the fight pit as well. I mean, you're missing out on a lot.
And that's like, yeah, you should really come down. You're missing all the fun.
Go ahead and give me an insight check, Cletus.
There's no way I believe that.
Well,
Was
you
that-
rolled high.
You rolled pretty high, so go ahead and give me an insight. Yeah, Corn sounds pretty goddamn like you really think that Nat is down there taking off her shirt. He sounded very sincere about it.
Plus 11 to bluff. Oh yeah.
Cletus is still too scared.
Okay, but you do believe that Nat is down there with her shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Nat is unsure whether or not to hit Corin or just keep laughing at this joke.
Coward is just snickering.
Daemis grabs his earring. He's like, "Did you need me to bring you up some breakfast, bud?"
That'd be nice. I say with my earring.
Okay, and without letting go of his earring, he looks towards Lady Catmera and he says this. He says, Lady Catmera, our friend Cletus is too afraid to come downstairs, so would you mind if you could grab some breakfast for me to take up to him? And those who can see him, Daemis is just cracking the biggest grin on his face. And Lady Catmera kind of gives him like a smile and walks back in the room in the back, and after a few moments comes out with some food. And Daemis grabs up for his earring again, and he says, "Don't worry, Lady Catmera's got me some food to bring up towards you." And he lets go of his earring, picks up the tray, kind of nods towards Catmera, and starts walking up the stairs.
Nat holds her earring and says, "You sure you don't want me to go up there?" with a cat-like grin.
So where are you, Cletus, right now?
I'm in the hallway.
Okay. You hear the footfalls coming up the stairs, almost like a giant. You'd almost be expecting Daemis to be the one taking up. But the shadow seems a little short.
I'm gonna roll perception to see if I know it's not him.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception roll. Really hard for Daemis to take this much of a shadow up. So, I mean, You pretty much guarantee that it's probably not Davis Harris. Like, you'd figure his shadow would be 2-3 times this size.
I'm gonna run into the Platinum Band's room.
Okay. You run in there, and the guards, as you're running towards them, both put up a hand and stop you in front of the door.
You know who I am.
Was that?
So they should know who I am. Sort of.
Yeah, but this is not your room.
Damn it.
You're pretty much entering a crime
They're
scene.
like, excuse me, sir. Sorry, I know you have acquaintances with them, but this room is rented for the Platinum Band.
I'm just hiding in here for a second.
Hiding from what, sir? As they look down the hallway, and you look back.
Yes, I look back.
Okay, you see Cat Mara's face climaxing over the steps as she's walking towards you with a tray of food.
Too late. I'll meet her halfway down in the hall.
Okay, she kind of looks towards your room and gestures you towards it.
Okay, I go in my room with her.
She sets your food down on the table that's next to your bed and kind of gently pats your bed, like, you know, gesturing that you should sit on it.
Alright, I sit down.
Okay. Like, oh, I hope you enjoy this meal. It looks like you could use your strength. She says it very sweetly, and she just has that same Cat Mara smile. Like, you know, it could be a really shitty day, but you see the smile and grin on her face, like, you kind of warm up on the inside. She leans up closely to you, and go ahead and go to the sidebar channel.
User left your channel.
I'll be-
Buddy left your
I'll
channel.
be back, guys. Unless he doesn't need me. I would hope not.
You were moved.
Sorry, I needed you too.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Just remember, if we're ever going to the sidebar channel, you come with, okay?
You know what's funny? I pretty much said, you know, they might not need me, and as soon as I said me, I get pulled to the other channel.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
go ahead and pull your headphones off if you would like.
Dinner's here anyway, so I'll be back.
Okay. And she leans in real close and whispers in your ear. She's like, "Don't ever touch a child again. If you do, I won't be holding back." And she just slowly stands up and turns, smiling the whole time, and walks out of the room. Ooh, 17 plus your modifiers. Yeah, you are scared shitless.
Yeah.
Even though she was sweet in her delivery, there was a certain, like, it was almost like a devil just whispered in your ear. Like, there is a cold shiver that runs down your spine, and you know, you're just kind of lost for a split moment before reality kicks back in. You're like, oh shit, okay.
I tell her, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, I won't do it again, I won't do it again, I won't do it again.
Okay, by then she's already, like, walked out. Like, you were literally frozen in fear for a couple seconds. By the time
Yeah.
you, like, look over, like, she's already left.
Yeah, I'm almost in, like, the fetal position.
Okay. Do you eat your food?
After, like, 10 minutes of shivering, yes.
Okay. Yeah, just to let you know, her roll for intimidation was a 34.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and move back to the other room.
Okay.
You were moved. User joined your channel. Buddy joined your channel.
Welcome back.
Cletus is
Wake up.
scared shitless right now.
After a few moments, guys, you see Lady Catmara walking down the stairs, and she's just smiling, and she goes back to cleaning and wiping stuff down.
Okay.
But you guys enjoy your breakfast. It's the same delicious, you know, staple foods that you've come to, you know, really appreciate at the Squawking Box. You know, even for this just being a quote-unquote average tavern for this town, food's very good. Like, you can tell they definitely keep the resources up here, and whoever cooks this food, they do a good job. Like, it is very well done. But you guys all finish eating, and you are full.
Senkos would like to go upstairs,
Okay.
and I'd like to go to look around, see if I see anyone in the hallway on the second floor. And then,
Yeah. As soon
go.
as you get up to the hallway, you do see the two guards at the end of the hallway standing in front of the Platinum Band's room.
How close is that to Nat's room?
Pretty close.
Oh. I just head back downstairs.
Okay.
Conrad, after he's done eating, he'll kind of stretch, then he'll go check out the quest board.
Okay. You go over to the quest board, and Damasari, seeing you walk over there, he gets a little inquisitive, and he follows you over there. He's kind of like a couple steps behind you, but you get up to the board, and he kind of looks at you like just expectingly, like he's waiting for you. I will say that it's pretty obvious, and you know this. You notice this.
He notices that. He's just gonna read it silently at first.
Okay. The first thing that you see is right in the center of the board, very well-made piece of paper. There is a notice. And right on the top of it, it says, "Notice to all adventurers and travelers," in very big, bold handwriting. Like it covers up a good chunk. It is clearly meant to catch people's attention. And it states, "With last night's incident at the inn and at the mines, Latesse will be raising security levels. All those who wish to traverse to and from Latesse must see Captain Welton for information. Those who do not will not gain entry to Latesse upon departure. Also, henceforth, all tasks and requests posted must be approved by Captain Welton. See him for all inquiries and postings." And apart from that new notification, it is still the same ones. There is the one for missing farmers. The price of it has gone up to 1,000 gold to locate any signs of missing farmers. Ironcrad Farms. The poster was Tendar Gremel. And the other one is to locate Alchemist Sir Frumt. It's a missing persons post, and it is 40,000 gold to find evidence of what happened with Sir Frumt, and that was posted by Captain Welton.
So Conrad will be just kind of like, he's not gonna read it at first. He's just gonna kind of like, okay, like he's just gonna act like he's just like understanding it.
Okay.
Then he'll just like turn to Dame Cyrus. What do you think?
He just looks at the board, looks back at you. He's like, kind of like hangs in defeat. Like, "Conrad, I can't read."
I know.
Okay, so but still you make me say something.
I just wanted.
I thought you were a pretty cool guy, Conrad, but as he just kind of turns and starts walking towards the bar. Kind of really down.
Oh.
Oh snap.
Yeah, Conrad will just head back to the bar.
Ooh. Surprising.
I kind of wanted to say something to him, but he just kind of walked off before that. Oh.
Is Corin still sitting right by the bar?
Just slowly going breakfast.
Now asked him. "So, I never asked you. How did your trip to the third floor go?" She just has her usual grin out as she asked.
After a few moments, real quick, as you guys are saying this, wait, Cletus, at this point you've eaten your food. What would you like to do?
I'm still in my room.
Okay, never
I'm
mind.
just
Continue.
staying up here for now.
Continue.
Nothing too fancy, just listened to some music, drank some wine, had a nice sleep.
Did I know the person that you went with? It was like a reveal thing, right?
That Nat did not see who Corn went with, because you were the first one to go in the room.
That's right. I was. Okay.
It was actually one of your kind. No. I take it back.
Wait. Wait.
It was a nice gnome lady. We talked a lot about the Feywild, where we came from.
Was you saying it's my kind actually canon?
No, I took
And then-
that back. Also,
No,
I
he
remembered that.
backed it up. He was basically gesturing towards Sin, like his kind.
Yes.
He's
Oh,
talking
okay.
about gnomes.
Now it says,
Yes.
was she nice?
Yes. actually see Corinne go a little bit blushed in the face when she
I was
says
just
that.
about to say that. I'm like, Corinne's probably blushing at this point. As soon as you asked him if she was nice.
That says, ooh. That says, I see.
It was just poem and Corin stuffs his face in embarrassment.
Did you go up and say hi to her?
I don't want to bother her, especially after what happened last night and stuff. And
Don't worry. You'll get your chance. Winks.
yeah. So will you. Winks.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear heavy footfalls coming down the stairwell. As you hear the footfalls come like down the stairs, Lady Catmara disappears into the back room and comes back with another tray of food. As Tyriok, Trey, and Payne come downstairs, Tyriok quickly grabs the first tray and just like happily starts going up the stairs. And as soon as he gets to the wraparound of the stairs, he looks towards you, Nat, and like gives a really big, goofy grin with a piece of toast already in his mouth, just kind of waving at you.
It's a fucking anime toast moment.
Yeah, it really is.
Nat just says out loud, he's so adorable. She just waves back.
But do you really say it out loud?
Yes.
Okay, you see Tyriok blush as he kind of like giggles and goes up the stairs. Trey grabs the other. He literally grabs two of the trays and he starts walking upstairs. Clearly, too much food for one person. He's probably grabbing breakfast for someone else. And Payne goes to grab her dish, but then looks over at Conrad. Like, oh, I have something for you. As she reaches over and grabs a satchel or a little pouch and hands it towards you, and just hands it out.
Connor takes it and then says, "What is it?"
As soon as you go to reach out for it, she grabs you by the collar, as you know, per Payne usual, and she pulls you and kisses you, and she's like, "It's a memory of that night." As she lets you go, walks over and like keeping her eye on your tail like half of the time. Just has this real devilish grin about her, like, you know, there's a sense of pride in it. As she grabs her tray and starts walking upstairs.
I hope she at least washed it first.
So what is it, Damon?
Okay, you open up the little pack that she gave you, and in it you see a small bottle and a bundle of grapes.
Ah. Is it enough to count as a ration?
I would say no.
Okay, just I wanted to know that.
And from your experience with those grapes, they're not really a food, more like a treat.
Got you. In any case, Conrad will put them both in his bag.
Okay.
Corin gestures to our Lady Catmara. So, what is Miss Yolland doing today?
And she looks up at you and she smiles. She's like, "Oh, well, I mean, she has some affairs to take care of today, as do most people the day after the festival, but she should be working this evening." Kind of smiles at you and kind of looks you up and down. She's like, "Catch an eye for you, Lon."
Is Nat watching this?
Insight check. Ooh, that's gonna be 29. So go ahead and roll bluff.
Am I rolling insight?
Oh no, this is for Corin to Catmara.
I was about to say.
Ooh, close, but she does not believe you. She looks at you and goes, "Yeah, I'm sure." And she just has this look like she knows you're lying.
He did say maybe.
Yeah, but she can see that it's not really a maybe, it's more like a if given a chance.
Yeah.
But she smiles, she doesn't say anything. She says, "Sure."
Can I roll insight?
Yes, you can.
Aw,
I mean, Corn's a pretty why do I keep trying to use the word I can't pronounce? And I can always
Enigmatic.
pronounce it. Yeah, Ah!
Enigmatic.
Mysterious.
God
Magnet.
very mysterious with sometimes with his facial expressions and behavior. It's hard to read the little guy. But I mean, he sounds pretty believable.
Okay, Nat does put away her letter.
Corin going on the offensive. So, what did the letter say?
Oh, it was just Lele checking up on me. She
I
like
assume Conrad's in his usual seat, right? Like I said before.
Yeah.
All right. Who's Lele? Conrad says.
closest thing to a mom I've got, I suppose. Yeah. She
Aw.
certainly liked the surprise of a giant griffin coming to her. But then again, I guess most people would be surprised at that.
Cletus will go up to his earring. Hey, what's going on down there, guys?
Conrad does his earring. I don't know. How about you come down here yourself?
All you hear is a chuckle coming from Daemisari's earring.
Just chuckle. Great.
Meanwhile,
He's so scared.
Conrad will say, "So, is she not your real mother?"
Hmm.
To Nadlin.
Yeah.
Like, are you adopted?
I suppose she starts, starting about that a little bit.
Okay. Conrad says he kind of realizes that she seems a little apprehensive, but he's gonna back off.
Adopted, adopted. You only have one real mother, and that's who you call mom.
Hey, Conrad actually brings out the berries. You guys want to try one of these? These are real good.
Fuck yes.
Conrad
Okay.
eats one.
Okay, Conrad, it's same experience. It's delectable to one's senses. You hand a berry to whom?
I'm just offering them freely.
Okay, who
Colin
wants to
will-
take one?
Corin will pick out the biggest berry there is.
Okay. I mean, they're all pretty similar size, but there is one that catches your eyes. Anyone else grabbing one?
Nat looks at them and then to Conrad and says, "Are those the berries you were talking about
Yeah,
last
they
night?"
are. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, you just saw him eat one perfectly fine.
Yeah, if anything, he looks content about it.
Yeah, he looks pretty pleasurable. He just popped it in his mouth and started chewing on it.
And she says, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good on berries, thank you."
Okay,
What about
Corn.
you, Daemisarius? You want one?
Daemisarius nods and he kind of like pats his belly. It's kind of engorged. He had a pretty big breakfast. He's like, "No, I'm good."
Cool, man.
So, Corn's the only one who has one.
Corin will try to swallow it whole somehow.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
it's too big for you to do that. You'd probably have to bite like halfway through it.
Okay, but the biggest chunk possible.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and give me a endurance check.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as you bite into it, you immediately get stabbed in your mouth. You suffer 1 point of damage. But you don't. It tastes pretty bitter, disgusting. It is otherwise completely unpleasant. You don't have to spit it out if you don't want to, but it does feel like you want to spit it out. It hurts. Mouth is bleeding now.
Spit it out.
Okay.
What's wrong
You guys
with
see
you
him?
people?
Yeah, you guys see him just start spitting it out.
What, you don't like it?
Well, would you like getting stabbed in the mouth?
I mean, I tasted it, and, it has that stinging feeling, but it
I
kind of
mean, Conrad, for you, you barely notice it. It almost feels like eating a grape.
Yeah, but you kind of told me it does have a slight stinging to it, right?
Yeah, it's barely noticeable.
Okay.
It is just like on the your notice. It's almost like more of a minty sting Like with
Okay.
how subtle it is. Like there's a bit of fire and stinging to it, but it doesn't hurt.
All right, so Connor will say, just to amend that. I mean, it does have a very subtle, sting to it, but other than that, it's really good.
I mean, Corn, it felt like you put a piece of glass in your mouth and tried to chew on it.
Corn will look inside the other half of the berry of if there's anything wrong with it.
Instead of a seed that you'd normally found just really smooth, this seed is basically nothing but sharp thorns poking throughout the berry. It's just razor sharp barbs coming out of the seed that kind of encapsulate the entirety of the grape.
Yeah, I think this might be a tiefling only thing.
Oh. Connor said it kind of looks sad. Well, sorry, Corin. Didn't know that.
No
Yeah,
worries.
Conrad, they taste delicious to you.
Yeah. He's like still like kind of, all content eating some.
I'll get you back one day. Don't you worry. One day.
Got a little
Can I
bit of
do
that Fey
insight
wine.
on that?
Insight? Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Corn's lying. I think he actually means this. So give me a diplomacy roll, Corn.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's more in the
Sounded pretty
Frank.
ominous.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not lying.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go ahead and give me an insight check, Conrad. You believe him. He's gonna get you back one day.
Awesome.
Expect it.
When you least expect it.
All right, cool. He's all content
Berry
still.
boy.
That's not sure how she feels about that, but she heard it.
You guys do hear some talking going over at the Platinum Man's table as Raylan stands up, and they were kind of talking the whole time. None of you guys were really listening in. But you do hear the last part, and Raylan says, "We should try to manage your money a little bit better." As he holds out a coin purse and hands it towards Daylock. Daylock sheepishly takes it and says, "Well, try to stay safe while we're gone." As he stands up and starts walking out the door, kind of nodding towards the rest of you guys. As
Bye.
Hey, Daylock.
Raylon and Damarel just kind of walk out the door. Daylock's kind of just sitting at the table alone.
Connor will let you go over to him.
He looks up as you approach. Good morning, Sir Conrad.
He'll sit down. Hey, you feeling better? Like, got your full control of your limbs now?
Looks at you and he's like, I do feel much better after the rest.
Good.
And
Good.
he looks towards you and then towards the group. He says, and it looks like I will be traveling with you for a little bit longer, if that is okay with you guys.
It's okay with me.
Yay!
Connor will do the earring thing. Is it okay with you guys?
I mean, again, you guys are like 10 feet from each other.
I know. But,
You guys are
Right,
really
okay,
getting
okay.
used to the earrings. I got it, no problem.
And he's also wearing an earring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also wearing one.
So he
More
heard
of a
that.
gesture.
Yeah. But it does reach Cletus.
Am I okay with what?
Daylock still going with us? I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Nap
I'm fine with it.
Nap puts her hand on the ear, fist in the air, just says, "Yeah."
Okay, after you guys' response, Damus Aries doesn't really respond. He's just kind of outstretched in a chair, just like letting his gut kind of hang out a little bit. You have a feeling it's probably part of his ritual after like big fights or getting his ass whooped. He probably, fills his belly to the brim and just lets that kind of help heal his body. But he nods, and you guys do see anyone who's looking at Daylock. He does kind of sit up a little bit more and cheer up. He's like, "Well, thank you." He actually
course.
says that in the earring.
No problem.
He says thank, and then he remembers and he grabs the earring and says, "Thank you, all of you."
No problem.
And he
Again.
looks,
Sorry. Go ahead.
and he looks towards you, Conrad, and he says, did you see anything worthwhile on the board? I saw you walk over there." And quickly you hear Damasari say over the earring, "Yeah, why don't you tell us?" Like really like sarcastically, and He's like pouting.
Aw,
Kind of weird to see a giant man pout, but he's pouting.
my baby.
Okay.
Strong emissaries.
Conrad will relay in his ear that, well, I saw this notice, and after the events of last night, it looks like the city's, I guess, on a sort of lockdown. We need permission from Captain Wilson to leave and enter. And there's still some quests posted. The missing farmers one. The reward is now 1,000 gold, and the remind me, Dan, what was the other one?
They're front missing person for 40,000 gold.
And Sir Frumpt, the missing person one is now 40,000 gold.
Relay, interesting. Not, I'd be up for going there for the farmers.
Well, we
Yeah.
will have to get permission from Captain Welton as well first.
Of course, of course.
So Damerceres looks towards the group. He's like, so should that be our first stop today?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, are we all good to go? Like, everybody's got all their gear ready to travel and everything?
I'd actually stop by the general store first, get another water skin, if that's okay with you guys.
That works for me. I actually got to go pick up my clothes from that tailor as well.
Oh crap!
That's
Did I
right.
give Cleus back his water skin yet?
No, you
No.
have not.
Does that remember?
Give me an intelligence check. You did drink.
By the end, Ned's just got 40 water skins in her pack.
Remember, you had Cletus's water skin. You remember that you borrowed it, you were drinking out of it, you refilled it, and sitting with your other one.
And that's like, oh yeah. And then she tugs on her earrings and she's like, Cletus, I still have your water skin. You should come down sometime and get it.
I'll come down when I'm ready, but thanks for remembering.
Don't worry, Lady Catmara's gone. Winking to the other
I don't
people.
believe you.
I mean,
Well.
let the dice decide whether you.
Yeah, let
believe
the
her.
dice decide, man.
Damn it.
Leave him. Lady Chimera's gone. Sounds very
I-
believable. Corn's never led you astray so far.
I know,
Always
but
truthful.
Cletus is still scared, and he does want to do
Again,
something
at
before he
this
goes
point,
down.
the initial intimidation it's done.
Okay.
It's up to your own will.
I do
whether you
want to do something before I get downstairs. Yeah. Okay.
What was
I'll
that?
come down. I'll come down in a bit, guys. There's something I want to do real fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't take too long, Connor.
Yeah, Damus Aries grabs his earring. He's like, I would like to go, sooner than later. So, if you could hurry yourself up, Cletus. As he just kind
Give
of
me-
holds one
give me
leg
a little
over the
bit.
other and kind of leans back.
Sorry.
So the 40,000 does look very delicious, but I think, especially after what happened last night, this might still be out of our abilities.
Plus,
I mean, that sounds like something. Oh, go on.
no, you go ahead.
It also sounds like something that we would probably be doing as we're doing other things. Because, I mean, just looking specifically for one person could take a long time.
Plus, it didn't look like there was any specific clues or leads in that case so far.
Damus Aries is going to attempt a spot-like moment. Something has been gnawing at him.
Is it noticeable? Obvious?
Yeah.
Ah.
He's still scratching his head. It seems like he's trying to piece something together.
Hey,
You
what's
okay
wrong,
there?
bigger guy?
And he looks towards you guys. He's like, yeah, it's just about that fight last night.
Yeah? Like, something bothering you about it?
Yeah. And he's like scratching his head, kind of scratching his chin. He's not quite sure how to put it, but it seemed like I don't know, like, kind of looks towards the group and he's like, I'm strong, but it felt like he could have probably dismantled us. Like,
I
we
mean,
just wave after wave of our attacks, and he just kind of moved out of the way like they were nothing. And I was just thinking that, if he was that way offensively too, I don't think we'd be standing here.
Well, his goal wasn't harming us. We were just in the way, and if the other people from Walking Box came and surprised him as well, he might not have been so well off. Especially if Lady Catmera were on the case.
As soon as Corin says, like, he didn't seem like he was trying to, like, go after us, Janissaries is, it's like that's when the light bulb goes off in his head. He's like, yeah, it seemed like he wasn't trying to attack us.
Just defended himself.
And Daylock kind of like looks towards you guys, and he's, well, I mean, regardless, he was after our life, and if you guys hadn't shown up, who knows what evil that man would have been up to.
Well, that's the thing, though. Conrad says we don't know what he was up to. As you pointed out, he could easily use deadly poison on you and killed you all together and been out before we got there. We have no idea what this guy's plan is. Period.
I'm still thinking he wanted information.
He certainly wanted something. Nat adds in.
Whatever
it
it
wasn't on the
was,
third floor.
and whatever it was, he wanted to do it seemingly undetected. I think.
As you guys are talking about this, Lady Catmera leaves the bar and goes into the back room.
Nat heard what Corin said. Give him a nod at that. She saw what he did there.
Okay, you guys are sitting in the bar alone, and Cletus is upstairs.
Yep, just waiting on him.
Alright, I'll go do my thing then. So I'm gonna get out of my room, and I'm gonna go up to the third floor.
Okay. You go up to the third floor, and you see a hallway with doors.
Okay, I'll just go up to the first one on the right and knock.
Okay, you knock, and you hear some shuffling, and then the door opens, and you get a very, not as tall as you, but a very rotund dragonborn with orangish-colored scales standing in front of the door. You see Tyriok. He has a mouthful of what appears to be toast and other food, and he's like quickly trying to like chew it up and swallow it. He's like, "Oh, how can I help you?"
I was wondering if you could answer something for me. And I'm not here for your services at all. My name's Cletus, by the way.
He puts out his hand. He's like, "Tyriok."
Nice to meet you.
Okay, and when you shake it, it's a very dainty shake. Like his arm's almost like rubber.
Okay.
As soon as you say he puts up his hand. He's like, "Just one moment," as he like swallows the rest of the food. Door closes. You hear walking away, shuffle. You hear the door open again, and as he opens up the door, he's like putting on like a very thin silk robe. Black, just the same color as his thong, as he's like kind of wrapping himself up in it. He's like, what did you want to know? Or what did you want to know?
I know why Lady Catmera was mad at me last night. I was wondering how she found out about the thing that I did.
Looking at you very inquisitively, he's like, "I'm not quite sure what you're referring to."
Was he not in that party?
He was with them.
Okay, so he just doesn't know then. Or...
Then he has no clue what you're talking about.
I tell him, alright, well, thanks for your time. I'll see if I can find out from someone else.
Nods and closes the door. Hear him like pace back over towards a table or desk or something. You hear what appears to be a chair, and you can almost hear like nom 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 nom.
Okay. I'm just gonna head down to the bar then.
Okay. As you walk downstairs, you see the party there and Daylock and no one else.
Did Raylon and Daywell leave?
Daylock speaks up. He's like, yes, they headed out a few moments ago.
Oh, I didn't get to say goodbye.
I mean, if you came down here sooner, you probably could have.
Ned
Yeah.
even put her shirt back on.
You guys ready to go in?
Nat's kind of snorts about that a little bit.
Jaemus gets up and starts walking towards you, Cletus. He's like, about time. Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Sin says he needs to go upstairs real quick.
Okay.
I go back up to like near Nat's room, and
Okay.
I feign a sneeze. That sounds like a snore, kind of like. And then do two of those, and then like do a.
Okay. You hear what you'd expect to hear.
And then I just walk to my room, and then just walk out of my room and go back downstairs, I guess.
Okay. And again, as you're walking down, you can hear coming from Nat's room what you would expect to hear.
All right.
Guards are kind of inquisitive because they can hear it too.
Mm.
Gonna actually walk over and check her room. As they open up the door, Sin, you hear it even louder as they're kind of just standing there watching.
Can we hear any of this?
Nope.
Okay.
I just continue walking downstairs.
Okay, you guys see Sin coming back down towards the bar.
Ready to go, Conrad says.
I asked him, what were you doing up there?
Just needed to make sure I had everything.
Insight to see if he's lying.
Bluff, Sin.
Yep.
Damn it. No.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
You guys believe him?
Okay, well, let's go
I
then.
got something.
Oh, roll insight. Yeah. Dang it!
Nat, you definitely believe him. Sin is the most honest person you have met. I mean, he even fixed your shirt that one time.
Ah, that guy.
I mean,
Almost
he is-
as honest as Corin.
I mean, he has no reason to dissuade you or point you in the wrong path. I mean, he's an upstanding guy. I mean, he even had trouble with his dragonling that other day. Hard out here for a gnome.
What a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, you guys make your way out.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, where would you guys like to head first?
The what's called clothing shop that Conrad put his clothes at
Okay.
to get fixed.
Sorry, I'm trying to move her to the map of the test. Boop. Okay, you guys head over there, and you see the same good old family. Wait, I think family. I just completely forgot where the.
They were Welton's family,
yeah.
I believe.
Yep. You see the same old family. You see Shelly there and her kids rummaging around, stocking things. It's still early morning. You can tell that they're still like on the opening end of the shop. And as soon as you walk in and they see you, Conrad, they're like, "Oh, hi. Yes, your clothes are finished." And walks over to a shelf, and there is a bundle of tied up stuff, like wrapped in kind of like a papery material, and it's tied with a little piece of linen. And she plops it down on the counter, and she's like, "Here they are. They're finished."
Thank you, Conrad says. He'll pick
Nods
up the
toward you.
clothes and put it in his bag.
Okay.
Out of character, I already paid them, right?
Yes.
For that. All right, cool. He'll nod and then he'll say, "Well, my business here is concluded." To the others.
And she smiles at you and says, "Well, you're welcome back anytime at the Dirty Main."
Thank you, Conrad says.
Corin will move up. So, do you do custom fits?
She looks towards you. She's like, "We can fit anything into."
You kinda cut out from there.
Oh, she can fit anything to anyone.
Corin takes out the bear pelt he used yesterday. Would you be able to make a cloak for me out of this?
I thought the bear pelt was sold.
No, he
I
bought like
bought
a.
bear pelt's
Oh
collapse.
yeah. I completely forgot. Oh yeah. She smiles at you and takes it, and cheerful that it's already almost towards your size. She says, like what type would you want out of this? Just a simple overhanging hood?
Some warm traveling cloak.
Like nods towards you. She's like, of course. Since you've already provided the materials, that'd be just a simple let's say 10 silver.
Yeah, thanks. And the 10 silver.
Okay, and she nods and she walks. She grabs the money, puts it up with the rest of the, or she hands it to her children who run over, and she turns around and on the counter behind her, she picks up a string. Says, "If you could," and she gestures towards the counter. She says, "If you could just stand right there."
Yep.
And as soon as you stand there, she takes the string and kind of like holds it up to different body parts and stuff like that. And with the index finger and the thumb, she's kind of like measuring stuff out, eyeballing it. She gets out a little parchment and a quill, and she writes a couple things down. And she's like, "Oh, okay. I could have this ready to you by tomorrow, a late day."
Sounds good.
Nods, and she kind of folds up the bear pelt, and I will have it to you by then.
Okay. Where could we find your husband at this time of day?
Oh, yeah. You'll be able to find him. Why can't I remember? You can find James at the guard station, most of the day.
Okay, thanks. Have a nice day.
He smiles and nods towards you.
All right.
Could you also make it that my wings can fit through?
She looks towards you and she's like, I mean, that may be a little trouble. I could definitely make slots, but then you kind of exposing your back end to the, if this is for colder weather, it would kind of mute the point of it protecting you from the cold.
Maybe something I can close at will with buttons or something?
She looks at you. She's like, yeah, I should be able to do something like that. 2 or 3 simple buttons. I'll try something. And she kind of like looks at the paper where she jotted down or the little notes, and she's like, yeah, I should be able to handle that, sir.
Cool, thanks. Tosses her another 5 silver.
Gladly accepts it and smiles and nods towards you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm done here.
Naz asks, is there anything to buy for being warm for the cold weather?
A thick coat.
Can I buy one of those, please?
Of course you can. And she guides you over to the little bit more thicker stuff. You said a coat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so not a cloak. I mean, she does look at the cloak that she gave you, and she says, well, this cloak should be able to hold you over for at least a little while, unless you plan on venturing towards the mountains.
I wouldn't mind having it just in case, Nat says.
Like, not a problem. And there's a few choices, a couple different, like, kind of furry ones, a couple that are just real thick, like materials. What are you looking for?
She points to Conrad. Conrad, what do you recommend? She looks towards Conrad.
Guess it would have to be something that fits your style.
What do you have, Nas?
I mean, we have a fine selection of thicker coats that are just simple fabrics, a wide range of colors. And we also do carry the little bit more thicker pelts and stuff like that as jackets and coats. But both should keep you equally as warm.
Can I get one of those thicker coats?
Like, of course. And she grabs one and gestures for you to try it on, make sure the size is good.
She does.
And she picked out a red one that kind of matches your cloak.
Ooh.
But it is nice. It's real thick and heavy. It fits. Your size is a little off. I would say like the arms are probably a little bit longer. They probably, instead of stopping at your wrist, they probably drape down probably towards your fingers. But otherwise, the coat is a good size.
I'll take it.
Smiles, and she's like, yes, that'd be 1 gold, please.
Of course. Hands her 2.
She takes it and kind of bundles up the coat for you and hands it to you.
Thank you.
Cletus will see if they have a cloak of the same material that fits him.
Okay. She kindly gestures you towards the cloak section, and there are 1 or 2 that actually fit your size. One's a dark brown one, and one's a real deep dark green. But nice thick material. It's a hooded cloak.
I'll take the green one, please.
That'd be 5 gold, please.
I give it to her. Thank you very much.
She takes it and get your nice little bundled cloak. And Damasari, seeing you buy a cloak, is gonna kind of like get a little close to you. He's like, "Doesn't your fur keep you warm?"
You would think.
And he kind of looks at you like, "Oh, okay, learn something every day."
Nat says, "That's fur."
What did you think it was?
I mean, you've seen his pretty thick mane of, like it's a pretty thick coat.
I just didn't want to believe it was fur.
Damasari looks at Nat like, "What did you think it was?"
Maybe a nice shirt. Because I could appreciate a nice shirt. Points to a shirt.
Damasari kind of laughs and starts walking out of the building.
Cletus is just like scratching his head, like, what? And walks out the building with Damasari's.
Conrad walks out of the building as well.
Me
You guys
too.
all follow.
Yep.
Okay, you guys head out of the haberdashery. Where would you guys like to head next?
The general store.
Okay. Right before we do that, we will take a quick break right here.
Okay.
Go ahead and use the bathroom, gather drinks, get snacks if you need them. And once everyone's back, we will continue. The great adventure of the Onyx Circle.
Unacceptables.
Come on now. We need to be plugging our own show. They already got enough watchers.
Yeah, but why do you plug our own show on our own show?
Just to double plug it. Maybe someone's
Just
watching our
Sure,
show
you
and they
watch
don't know
Low
it.
Initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone leave by any chance? Okay, a few people probably did.
Yeah, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Wait, but why'd you ask? Did anyone leave?
I
Because
left.
just on the off chance everyone stayed here.
Yeah, but then nobody would have said anything and you've
Yeah.
gotten this result.
And I'm just saying, if
Did
they were
anyone leave?
here, they would respond.
Yeah, but I mean, I almost didn't even respond.
Yeah, you're right, but I figured people would have responded.
So what?
That if people left or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, but what if people are right?
Oh, what if people are Trevor?
Falls over and dies.
I kind of figured that my character would have just been like, yeah, man, I'm sad.
Yeah, you guys probably do see Sin. It's a little down. Not really too down, just into himself a little bit.
Come back.
Okay.
Be
I
alright.
think we're just waiting for Moose.
Yes,
Cool.
you are.
Okay, we're all back.
Oh.
Go.
Except I still need to go use the bathroom.
Okay, we'll go use the bathroom.
God damn.
Come on, Sam.
We're all so well planned.
I say go on break. That's the time you get up and go to break, not sit
Yeah.
around for 5 minutes and then go, I still gotta use the bathroom.
Funny stuff today, guys.
No, yeah. I was actually gonna follow up my I know comment to Damon series, but he walked away before he could.
Well, you kind of hurt his feelings.
I was gonna say it's never too late to learn.
Yeah, but I mean, you waited way too long with that pause.
Mm-mm.
The
Poor
NPCs
dinosaurs.
don't have fear.
Yeah.
And you were pretty much exploiting his weakness.
Sure.
Yeah, like, hey,
Yeah,
you
it was
knew
kind
I
of a
knew-
dick move.
Wait,
yeah.
you know I know how, or I don't know how to read, but instead you make me admit it just so you can tell me to my face that you already know.
Yeah.
Kind of a dick move.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
Get the feeling that it may be a slightly touchy subject for Damasaries.
Yep. Oh.
Curious and curiouser what Sin was doing.
Yeah.
Is that really the only thing you guys are curious about?
I mean, no, but
I mean, it's not
one
that.
of many things.
It's not even that. It's that you went around in near Nat's room, and then he sends me a direct message.
Well, when it comes to being curious, I'm pretty sure the leader of the Platinum Band is still alive. Considering they didn't find his body, scry on him, or anything of the sort.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
that's what they wanted to go do.
like 95% of the time when they say, "Oh yeah, we think he's dead, but we didn't find the body," probably alive.
That's when you realize it's always been Nat.
Yeah, Nat's just in cover. He's really the evil previous master of the Platinum Band that is certainly a part of the party just to hurt them.
Well,
Or
who
three
says
imps in the trench coat.
he's evil? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the
So
Platinum
far.
Band did.
Yeah. Or the Platinum Band's evil.
kinda sketchy themselves.
Those who are
Mhm.
evil calls those who are good evil.
I mean, again, every
Matter of
single time
perspective.
you guys have believed what they've said, so
Bruce, did you
Doubts.
just say? Did you just do a no you?
Who?
What?
Or is it Moose or Sin?
Me?
I don't know. Never mind. You're
I
back,
wasn't-
Sin.
Anyways.
Let's continue.
I wasn't
Okay.
talking.
So, as you guys progress and walk through the market, you guys eventually make it over to the general store. You guys make your way over to Valmart, and you guys walk in, and you see the very familiar Valtenor.
Hello, good sir. I'd like one of your finest water skins.
And as
What,
soon as
what?
you guys go through the door, you hear the ding 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 ding, and you see and you're greeted with your welcome to Valmart.
Well, basically repeat what I just said.
Okay. And what did you say? Because it cut out.
Hello, good sir. I'd like one of your finest water skins. What?
Like, not a problem. As he walks over to a little shelf and starts rummaging through things, as the DM takes a moment to pull up that equipment cost for that. As he's rummaging through the boxes, and there he goes. He pulls out a water skin. And he's like, that'll be 1 gold, please.
Cletus hearing water skin looks over at Moose, or Nat, and says, "Hey, Nat, can I have my water skin back?"
She thinks about it for a second, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and then she just reaches into her bag and gives it back to you.
Thanks.
Corn, you give him the 1 gold?
Yeah.
Okay, he gives you your water skin, so go ahead and mark down that you have a second water skin.
Just did.
He's like, looks towards the group, and he sees Nat, and he's like, oh, I hope that letter made it to you perfectly fine.
It did. She was very surprised to have
Yeah.
have a griffin drop down right near her house.
Yeah,
You
the
have a
griffin
letter?
he said the griffin took longer than normal to get back. Just for future references, make sure they know not to really mess with the griffin.
Okay.
What did they do to the griffin?
Do you say that out loud, Corn?
Yeah.
The Val looks towards you. He's like, "Oh, nothing untoward. He was just delayed. It's usually just but a moment for him to deliver and return. But he seemed like he was not expecting to be. But I should have said something. I should have asked if there was any return mail, but hastily thinking towards the festival, which I hope you all got a chance to enjoy, as he grins really large. I in my haste I forgot to mention about the return policy.
And what's the return policy?
Oh, basically, if you're expecting any mail and return, just when you think of the place and the person that you're sending it to, just have the thought that something might be coming back with it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna write that down.
After that's all done, Conrad's actually going to go up to the counter as well and say, "Actually, I'd like a water skin as well, please."
Fine. Anyone else? As
Me
you look
too.
towards the group?
Me
Okay.
too, Nat says.
So 2 water skins.
And out of character, are they filled as well, or do I have to pay extra?
They
to
are
fill them?
empty ass water skins.
Conrad will ask, "Could you fill mine as well? I'll pay for that as well."
Like, oh,
Then
well,
we'll do-
I really don't have a tap available.
Okay, never mind then. I'll take the water skin though.
That's going to be 1 gold for each of you, and you write down that you now have an additional water skin.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys finished here?
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
I also get a water skin. Sorry.
Okay,
Didn't
no
realize
problem.
the microphone was good. How much?
Okay, 1 gold. You guys done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just stay standing in the store? You guys gonna walk out?
Walk
No.
out.
Walk out.
Okay. So you guys walk out, and as you guys are heading towards the door, he's like, coming back anytime and visit Valmart for all your adventuring and any necessities you may need.
And before she leaves, she says, I probably will. I'll probably have more letters to send before she
Thanks.
steps out.
He smiles. Oh, good. We'll be more than happy to take care of that. As you guys open up the door, you hear the ding 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 ding. As you guys make your way out onto the street. So anywhere else you guys would like to head?
Guys, want to head over to see Captain Walton?
Okay, so you guys make your way through the market, across Latest. You guys pass the temple, and you guys make your way to the guards' hold, the familiar gigantic stone building. Again, there are 2 guards posted outside. One appears to be a half-elf male, and the other one is a human female, and they're just standing out guard.
We'd like to see Captain Walton in regards to leaving the test for business.
Hi, yeah, just go right in and go up to the captain's office. It's on the 2nd floor.
Thank you.
And the doors is open there, and as you guys are walking up, you guys do see 2 merchant looking people walking out, followed by 1 man who you guys do notice is the fisherman who you guys met on the far west coast during your first adventure.
I waved to him.
He nods and just keep going. They're all looking at a piece of paper that's in their hand.
Gonna head up to Captain Walton's office.
Same.
Okay. You guys all follow?
Mhm.
Yes.
You guys make your way up the stairs, and by the time you get up to the second part of the stairs that kind of wrap around and go towards the 2nd floor, you see 2 men standing in the doorway of Captain Wilton's office that he's currently talking to, and they're talking back and forth, and the 2 men nod towards him, and they turn around and leave his office and kind of scoot around you guys down the stairs. You guys make your way up the stairs, and you You guys are met with his office right there as soon as the stairs go up. Like his door to his office is right there.
Okay.
Guy's coming up and he's like notices you and he's like, "Oh, good day."
Good day.
Hello.
Like, how can I help you today?
We were looking at the quest board in the squawking box. We're interested in doing the looking into the missing farmers. We came to get permission to leave the test and come back.
Yes. Well, again, it's not really permission for that specific job. It's with the current situation going on the test and motions for everyone to come in his office and sit down. There's quite a few chairs and benches in here. Between the chairs and the benches, you guys can all find a seat. And he motions for you guys to sit down.
Conrad sits.
Okay. And he's like, with these trying times that we've experienced, looks towards the group and he's like, you have already done me a service, so I don't mind talking to you about this. You seem like a group that's has some longevity here in Litest, so I don't mind keeping you up to date with the situation. And he walked by the door and closes it as he's like pacing around the room, like, talking about all this. Says Litest has been having more trouble than other areas lately. With the loss of the first group that was supposed to be assigned here, my men have been stretched. I'm finding more and more difficulty to keep up with everything that's been happening with last night's attack on the squawking box and at the mine. We're stretched thin, and there is a general cry of unrest with the civic side of Litest. More and more people go missing. There is the issues with taxes. Other problems are on the rise. And Daylock actually speaks up. He's like, taxes, sir? Looks towards Daylock. He's like, yes. With the increase of security and our men being spread out thin, we've had to dive deeper into our coffers to help pay for increased guards, hiring of new people. The actual cost of getting you all to the land of Elois was paid for by Celestia, but the rest of everything else needs to come out of our pockets. And with everything that's been happening, Lord Ravon has had to increase the taxes a few times in the last year. And with all the dangers and things happening, some of the farmers, fishermen, and other lower end workers they're struggling to make ends meet. And
Could say, well, that's not very good. I know for a fact farmers don't like being taxed more, but we'll do as much as we can so things can get back to normal.
And he smiles as he makes his way back towards the seat down, and like, yes, but most of them, they do understand that Elois is dangerous, and the danger requires a certain heavy hand. So most of them, they do make do with what the taxes have become because they know it leads to their. Goes to say something, but he stops himself. But that's a different matter altogether. Basically, that notice is to let you guys know. Most of all, this isn't the first time we've had to raise security in Litest, so most of the residents are aware of its standard procedure. But I will inform you all of this information. Basically, from here on out, you guys will be assigned a travel card. Keep it with you at all times. It will allow you to enter and leave Litest unabated. We also ask that all requests, once you decide on filling any job requirements or anything, that you come and let us know, so we can keep a little bit stricter hold and knowledge base on what's going on in and out of Litest. We need to be a little bit more strategic with our planning and our resources. So this, even though it may seem like an inconvenient wall, This is for the betterment and safety of Letest.
Makes sense.
Looks towards the group. He's like, do you have any objections?
Nope.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
I must disclaim though that this card, while it also shows that you have entry into the city, there is a little bit of arcane nature to them. We will be able to track your comings and going.
Okay.
Seemed a little hesitant about saying that, but after you guys already, said like, oh yeah, we understand, kind of push that little bit more information. And he seemed to be you're not quite sure if he was supposed to tell you this or if he's just worried that you guys are gonna say fuck off or what, but he seemed a little apprehensive about telling you guys. Like, but seeing that you guys agree, he's like, okay, then it's just a little bit of paperwork and I can have you on your way.
Sounds good.
And as you guys are sitting there, you guys hear a knock at the door, and he says, come in. Door opens, and there's a young guard coming in. He, sir, Captain Welton, I have the postings here. And he's like, oh, sure, go ahead and head over to the squawking box and post them down on the notice board down there. He's like, aye, sir. And he walks out and closes the door. And Captain Welton just begins writing on paper. He's like, okay, can I get your names one more time? And what nomenclature would you guys like to go under? What name would you like to go under?
We'll be under the Onyx Circle, and my name is Cletus Overturn.
Okay.
Conrad
and he writes,
Havockville.
What's that?
Conrad Havockville.
Okay. He writes down Cletus's name, Conrad's name. Looks towards you, Sin.
My name's Sin Kos.
Writes it down. He looks towards you, Moose. Cat.
Nadalyn Ashbourne.
Writes that down. He looks towards Corrin.
Corin Red Clover.
Looks towards Damasaries. Damasaries. Pauses. No last name. Shakes his head no. Writing. And he looks towards Daylock, and he's like, Daylock Riverwood. Yeah. Like, okay, now if I could, gestures towards the paper that he just wrote, and he says, if you wouldn't mind, just come over here. And he has like this little, it kind of looks like an inkwell, but it has like this kind of greenish liquid on it. And he's like, if I could ask all of you to just dip your finger in this ink and press it next to your name on this paper.
Does so.
Do you guys all do so?
Yes.
Okay, and as you guys do, one by one, you guys see an arcane flicker of energy as nearby pieces of paper that were kind of stacked side by side start filling out with information. Basically that it's a travel license for the city of Letest, and it has your name on it, and you are contracted out under the group of Onyx Circle, and it gives you permission to enter and leave the city and take care of any tasks or work that is ordained by the town of Letest. You guys all have special licenses because you are directly working for the city. Again, I'm just kind of paraphrasing all this, and that you guys have the outright forward acceptance of the town of Letest guards. Basically, what this means is that you guys do not hold the same power or privilege as, say, a guard would, but basically, if you guys are on a job, you can show someone this piece of paper, and they let you know that you are working for the city itself.
Okay.
But he finishes it, and the stack of papers that kind of magically wrote all this, he starts handing them out to each of you. Go ahead, all of you, and write Traveler's License, or Letest Traveler's License in your inventory. As he's handing them out, he says, please do not lose these. If one of you still has one, it should allow you at least entry into the town and directed over to this guard hold where we can approve that yes, you are all a part of Onyx Circle. But if none of you happen to have one, you will be barred entry into Letest.
Conrad nods.
And he kind of leans back and he says, "I look forward to seeing you guys commit yourselves to doing more work for the town of Latest. You guys haven't been here long, and as soon as he says that, you hear a knock on the door. Come in, and as the door opens, you see middle-aged human woman, and he looks, oh, Cassandra, perfect time. Come in. These are actually." And as soon as he says that, she walks in and looks towards you guys, and immediately there's almost tears coming down her face. And I'm just gonna say, for flavor, Damasaries is the closest person towards the door, and she walks swiftly up to him and puts a hand on his shoulder and clasps his hands. She says, "Thank you." Says, "Thank you," and then she looks over towards Nat and kind of grabs her hand. "Thank you." Goes, through the room. She's like. And Captain Welton speaks up. This is actually the mother of the two children that you guys found but a few days ago. And as she's going around, she has tears in her face, just thanking you all. Because I do not know what I would do. I just lost my husband, and knowing that my kids were gone, I was shattered. I would have had nothing left in this world. Brought my babies home safely to me, and I thank you.
That says it was my pleasure.
Any respectable adventurer would have done the same.
Just kind of teared up still. Says thank you. If I'm but just a mother, and a single mother at that. I do not make much, but if there's ever anything I could do for you, please do not hesitate to call on me. And Damus Aries looks, that's not a problem, ma'am. We would do it for anyone's kids in any situation.
That
All
does
we can ask.
agree.
Yes.
Agreed. Yes.
We're just happy that your kids are safe with you now.
Yeah.
All we can ask of you right now is take care of your kids. They've through a lot.
Starts wiping the tear away from her eyes. She's, of course, I just, I had heard that you guys were here, and Captain Welton had told me about the brave adventurers who saved my children, and I had to come thank you personally. Looks towards Captain Welton. She says, "Thank you, James. I'll leave you to your business." As she kind of does a slight bow as she backs towards the door and closes it tight. And Captain Welton is yeah, she was asking me since the festival yesterday to meet the brave heroes who saved her children, and I told her you might stop by today, and the poor lass, she's been kind of waiting around all day to see if you guys showed up. But as I was saying, you guys have not been here long, but clearly you've already started to have an effect on this town. A town that had been at peace for a very long time in the last few years has seen a lot go wrong. And some of the towns with missing people, the monsters going where they're not supposed to be, and all the other incidences, we've been having troubles. I mean, we even lost a few guards just the other day trying to investigate what happened over in the cave, and there's just trouble all around. And it's good to see that you guys, as soon as you got here, started moving towards helping the people.
So, what exactly came off the cave? What happened?
Yeah, how did you guys lose guards?
The guards who went to go investigate the cave, they were sent out the day after you guys arrived, the day before the festival, and they made their way there. No trouble. They found it completely abandoned, and but they did find the corpses of the bodies of the kobolds you had slain, and that was pretty much about it. Oh, I did have one question. They did come to one of the halls where a chamber, it collapsed. A lot of collapsed rocks, and our guards could not move any further. Kind of looking toward. Is that something you guys noticed there?
Can I do an intelligence check just to try to remember?
Of course.
Because out of character, the only thing I could think of was that, like, little chasm thing. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was that the second left into the
Nope.
cave?
Conrad, you cannot remember. It was all dark. It was real quick. Went from one fight to the other. You really can't really recall any details.
I ask if they found the room with the pillar.
Killer.
Yeah. The second
Probably.
left going into the cave.
There was a room with the pillar, kind of dead-ended at the end of the cave. But
The only
probably,
the only dead ends we saw was one that appeared to be a storeroom. One of the guards said that the other one led to basically a living quarters, and the other one led to a hall that was basically collapsed at the end.
yeah,
Huh.
that sounds like where the room with the pillar was.
Well, that is where the incident occurred. I hate to say it, but we lack the manpower and the ability to go look into any more into it. Because as you were asking, on their return home from the voyage, as they made their way through the forest, the group had been attacked by some unknown creature. It was dark at the time, and the surviving people did not, clearly see what had happened, but they kept getting tripped up and caught as they were running back through the forest, and they're not quite sure what was catching on them, but they seemed to struggle to get through the woods.
Weird.
We've actually just posted a new request from the city of Latest, and he motions towards the door. He's like, the guard I just sent out was posting the new requests on the board.
Would Sinkos know if this possibly was kobolds taking them captive?
From the information you were told,
And
not really.
history was kobolds.
I mean, you don't even have to roll anything on that one. It's a very vague detail. They were going through the woods. They were getting caught up on something, and something from the shadows kind of like just grabbed and killed two of their people.
I mean, like, did they find the bodies or?
Oh, you mean in the cave?
No, like, did they find that? I mean,
Okay. You
They were
asked.
killed in the woods.
Yeah, you asked Ravon Welton. He says no. The surviving guards basically made haste to Latest, since they could not see the enemy and all they could hear was the screams of the fallen comrades. They felt they were out of their league and just made their escape.
Hmm.
we
Did
should
it
look into that.
Well, I remember when we were traveling in that area, I remember feeling something like flying on our way back.
Flying, you say?
Yeah. We as soon as I heard it, I told everybody to get down. We didn't see it, but it definitely seemed like something was gliding around us. Not sure if that helps.
Aaron scratches his chin. He's like, I wish you would have relayed this information. You guys first visited me, but alas, it doesn't really help anything with the investigation. It's just another unknown to an already unknown situation. And he pauses. He says, usually the only things that take to the skies around here are dragons or their equals. The skies over Elois tend to be pretty dormant.
I'm sorry for your men.
Nods at that. He's like, they were good soldiers.
Maybe we'll look into that after we look into the missing farmers.
Says, well, I know you spoke your interest in the missing farmers, but I do ask that before you do accept any job, you do check what we just posted for today. The missing farmers has been going on now for a few months, and so far the guards have been investigating it, and So far, no leads.
Okay,
Okay.
we can do that.
Yeah. Let's go check out the posting then, guys. Conrad says.
Okay.
Okay. And as you guys go to stand up, Captain Welton also stands. He's like, "It was a pleasure seeing you guys, and I will talk to you shortly then."
Conrad nods and heads out.
Okay. You guys all follow?
Yep.
Okay. You got.
Cletus is going to be the last one out, and before he leaves, he asks Captain Wilson real fast, what job, did Lady Catmara go out on a job the other day? If so, what did she go do?
Oh, Lady Catmara. Well, I mean, she's worked for Latest in the past. I mean, she is a very prolific leader in our community. She doesn't really take jobs per se from us. I mean, I know she used to do a lot of work for Sir Frumpt, but that was between her and him. Kind of like looks and down the hallway, seeing that there aren't really any guards nearby, and he kind of whispers to you. He's like, between you and me, Lady Catmara really doesn't like Lord Ravon, and Lord Ravon has yet to ask anything of Catmara. So if she was doing anything, it was of her own free will.
Interesting. Thank you.
Nods towards
See you
you.
later.
As you leave, he closes the door. As you guys are heading out, you see a couple other farmers and one guy who looks to be a trader going inside, probably to do the same thing you guys are.
Conrad's going to suggest that we all go to Squawking Box to see the new postings.
They're here, aren't they?
I
No,
thought they were at the Squawking Box.
yeah, it's Squawking Box.
Oh, I thought you said. Never mind.
Okay, so you guys head over to the Squawking Box.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, there is a board at the guard station, but it's mostly like wanted posters and stuff like that.
I mean, if we're already there, I guess we can just look at that one as well.
Okay. I mean, it is a lot of names and crude drawings of people you do not know. One speaks of a farmer that was caught after weeks that he was missing, and he was caught raiding a traveling caravan that was heading towards Celestia. He got away, but his face and name and stuff are on the poster. And a couple other ones that are just, I mean, a lot of them are petty criminals. One of them is no picture, but it speaks of a foreigner who was traveled to this land, apparently, and they're looking for information regarding him.
Conrad says.
Okay,
Seems
do
like
you
they're.
check the names and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay, which one do you want to look into?
We'll look into the farmer one first, just to read it.
Okay, that is, his name is Reginald.
No last name?
Reginald Lockwood. I was giving you a moment.
We have to report Zom that he happened to him.
No one said anything about Tom.
No, I was asking if you ever told the guards.
Yeah, I'm saying no one's ever said anything to
Oh.
anyone about Zom.
That's true.
We should probably do that.
All right. And what was the other one? The one that said it.
Not a lot of information. It is a bounty from outside of Elois. It's a little kind of stained up. It looks like it's probably been here for maybe a few weeks. You're not quite sure if a guard spilled something on it or if it was wet being delivered, but it's the Empire of something. And the name, all you can make out is FLIN on it.
Intelligence check to see if we know what it is, what it means, whatever.
Okay, sure, go ahead. I mean, it could be Limbergaster or Nat. I mean, Flin, Flinny, Flint, Flinar,
Limbercast.
Flynn,
Great empire.
Gaber. Like there could be a few names, I guess, that begin with Flynn. Maybe the name is just Flynn. Maybe with the smudge part's his last name.
Well, Connor will speak up now and say, so this is another option. We could think about pursuing one of these bounties here. He points at the board. This one, Reginald Lockwood character seems like a kind of a fresh posting.
It is for 25 gold, and looking at it, it's probably a couple weeks old as well.
Oh, never mind that.
The one with the FLIN is a 5,000 gold bounty.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them are like 5 gold, 10 gold. It's like petty theft and things like that. And a lot of the other ones besides the Reginald and the Flynn one is there not a lot of information, not a lot of pictures. It's just like, oh, there's been recent thievery at the market. Someone's been pickpocketing or something like that. A lot of these wanted posters are more for the guards to like keep notes and be aware of what's going on.
Okay.
Cletus is gonna look at the FLIN
Yeah, FLIN.
one. Look at it more closely. Perception or
Sure. What are you trying to look for?
I'm just trying to see if I recognize anything.
Well, the Empire of, I mean, there's a lot of places people come from that are called Empire of. And with the Flynn, you're not quite really sure. I mean, might be able to try to clean this up a little bit. But with how it looks, you may end up making it worse.
I'm just gonna leave it alone.
I will say that looking at it, there's the information on that is basically they're looking for someone who's wanted at this Empire place, whatever it is, who had escaped imprisonment and is on the run, wanted for various crimes against the Empire.
Okay.
And it does include murder as one of those crimes.
And it doesn't have a picture, right?
Nope.
Nat looks.
Well, I'm going to suggest that we go check out the other listings at the Squawking Box, Conrad says.
Good idea, Nat says.
Before we go, I need to go speak to the guard guy again.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Conrad says.
Captain Welton?
Welton, yes.
Okay.
So I start heading over to him.
You make your way up the stairs, and the door's open, and he's filling out paperwork with the people that just walked in. Do you wait, or do you walk in the room?
I wait.
After like a good 5 minutes or so, he finishes, shakes their hands, and they walk out, and they leave and start walking downstairs.
I get his attention.
Like, oh, hi, Sin, correct?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
One of the people that traveled in the caravan with us, wore like tattered rags and stuff like that. We ended up finding him on the way out to the cave where we found the kobolds, and he died. At least, I mean, he's made out of stone, it seemed, and we buried him. But I don't know if we should have brought him back.
Kind of scratches his chin. He's like, well, never registered in Latest if so I really have no information on him. We did see that we were missing one of the supposed people that were assigned to Letest. Assume that he made his own way here and was lost to the wilds. If you are saying that you did recognize him,
Yes, he traveled with us on the
Oh.
caravan.
okay. So I will notify my aide, and we will update that he has been killed.
Well, I mean, he seemed different. He didn't. I mean, upon looking at him, he didn't necessarily seem like something that could die. I mean, rock-like stuff. So,
Gonna do an intelligence check to figure out what the hell you're talking about. So did that. Oh wow, 19. He's like, are you saying that he was a warforged?
yes, one of those.
Well, I mean they do die, just like any other mortal.
Oh.
If their structure sustains too much damage, my wife has always loved, hearing about arcane tales and stuff like that. So, she had talked to me about warforged, and if they become too damaged, they can basically lose the arcane energy that kind of creates their. He's like trying to struggle to try to explain it, like a soul spark. Not quite sure what they really do with. Not really an arcane practitioner.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all, and then I just leave.
Nods towards you as you head out, and he kind of jots down on a note, probably that that missing assigned person is probably dead.
I hopefully meet up with the group and apologize for making them wait.
And no problem.
It was only but a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You guys head back to the squawking box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys make your way over there, and for the first time since the end of the festival, you're actually seeing, the normal life over at the squawking box. It's about midday right now. There's a few occupants there who are drinking. They appear to be miners and such. And it's just a nice mid-afternoon kind of drink and lunch thing going on. And as you guys make your way in there, Catmara, a couple dwarves, a human, half elf. They're all just kind of sitting around at different tables and stuff, eating, drinking.
Cletus will go. Well, do I see the guys that I saw playing cards a few nights ago?
You do not.
Okay, then I will go sit at. Or I'll go check out the post board, the message board.
Okay. Do you guys all follow?
Yep.
Okay. Along with the other posts that you guys had seen, there are now some very new, fresh ones. I will just go in order. You see a new one for hunting beasts in the West Forest. It is 1,000 gold to locate and kill the beasts that had been seen roaming the woods to the west. Bring back head for proof. Last seen a day ago when it attacked the group of guards who were investigating the western caves. Unknown origin and unknown type. Posted by Captain Walton. Next one is Quell the Wolf Pack. The forest to the east on the path to Io Docks. That's basically forest to the east. 500 gold to quell numbers, and the posting request that you bring back at least 15 heads for proof. Upon receiving or bringing back 15 heads, we'll get the 500 gold, plus an additional 5 gold after 15 heads per head of wolf.
Okay. Well, can you say that again a little slower?
Breaking up a little bit.
Can you say that a little again slower?
Okay, quell the wolf pack in the forest to the east on the path to the Io Docks. It is 500 gold to quell the numbers. The notice requests at least 15 heads, wolf heads, to achieve that 500 gold. And every head after 15, you're allotted 5 gold per head. That is also posted by Captain Walton.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is investigate giant activity the north of Letest Mountains. Under that it says giants have been seen moving down the mountains. Normally, they do not roam this far away from the peak. Find out what is causing them to make their way south off the mountain and stop them if they provoke aggression. And that is 1,000 gold to figure out what is going on with the giants to the. That is also posted by Captain Walton. Okay, and last but not least, the other new one is a civilian escort job. All it says is a visitor to Latest has requested assistance with safe travel to the Mist Vale Mountains to the south. Poster for details. They are staying at the Squawking Box for the Hermit.
Where are we escorting them to?
To the south, to the Mist Vale Mountains.
Ask for the hermit, right?
Yep, at the Squawking Box.
And how much was that one worth?
It says see poster for details.
Okay.
Yeah, Damon.
See.
Would it be like an intelligence check to see how far away the Misty Mountains would be away from
Mountains.
Test?
Well, I mean, you guys do have a map. I will go ahead and bring that up for the audience as well. That's not the map. That's the map. Okay, do you guys see this mountain range right here?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the start of the Mist Vale Mountains. It basically goes from there all the way down to the bottom.
Okay. So we'd just be escorting them to there or through that?
As far as the best you can gather is probably.
Yeah, we gotta see them for the details of it.
Yeah. Okay, and the hunting one is no longer there, correct?
The generic hunting quest is no longer there.
There's a wolf
it
one
is
though.
a one to the west and east. One is for the unknown animal that attacked the guards, and the other one is for wolves in the eastern.
Okay.
Well, Conrad's gonna speak up and say, well, I'm a bit cautious pointing at the one that talks about the guards. There's this one posting here that talks about the tracking down and then killing the monster that killed the guards in the forest. I'm cautious about taking that one because it seemed like they were able to kill them without being seen.
Yeah.
That seems like a dangerous foe. The wolf quest of calling their number and just simply collecting their heads, that seems like the easiest one to me so far.
This escort quest doesn't seem too hard, depending on what all it entails.
Well, he's in the Squawking Box, like here, so
You want to go find him and ask him?
sure. They said, I assume we just asked the bartender. So, how about we just go over there then?
Yeah, let's ask Felden.
You guys make your way over to the bar, and it's actually Lady Catmara there. You get the feeling that since Felden had to take over for that one day without Catmara, he's probably sleeping it off. And Lady Catmara sees you guys approaching, and she says, how can I help you?
We are
Hi.
looking for the hermit?
There's a guy, and she points back to the corner. And for the first time, you guys didn't realize he was there when you first scanned the bar, but suddenly, like, back in the corner, you see a robed man. Very simple black robes, and he's sitting back in the corner of the tavern.
I tell her thank you and head over to the robed man.
Conrad's going to get Catmara to refill his water skin first.
Okay, she
Nabble
gladly
too.
does so. I assume everyone who just got a water skin is going to ask to get it filled.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, you have a filled water skin.
And then he'll go follow Cletus to the man.
Yep.
You guys all make your way over to the old man sitting in the corner. Simple old man. It's kind of tell from a little bit of what you can see from underneath his very large, heavy robe. He has you walk up and he's kind of cloaked up. Simple black tattered robes. Very simple. He has a gigantic twine knot that kind of ties it all together. Very simple shoes, kind of dirty around. And he's just sitting there feeding these birds.
I ask him, so are you the hermit?
And he looks up. He's like, "Oh, of course, that is me."
We're interested in your post on the board over there about the escorting.
Well, please do sit down. And he gestures towards the seats.
Conrad
Sit.
sits.
That sits too.
And as you guys sit, he pulls back down the hood and go ahead and scroll down on your guys' journal thing. And Moose, could you pick a mysterious old man and bring that picture up?
Yes.
Okay.
As he pulls back the hood, you guys do recognize this man. He was one of the passengers on the ship you guys all arrived on. And as you guys sit down, he's like, so you've taken interest in my request. Well, I'm glad to
Yes.
hear such a quick response, because this is a timed issue. Tomorrow I will be leaving towards the Mistvale Mountains, and I need a accompaniment along my journey to make sure I arrive there safely.
Yeah, we were curious about some of the more details of the quest.
But of course, I will pay 2,500 gold for safe passage to the Mistvale Mountains. An additional 1,000 gold in helping me with my task.
What's your task?
I've been set here to retrieve an ancient artifact that is supposed to be lying dormant in a hidden temple at the start of the Mistvale Mountains. It's a long-forgotten temple to the old god Io. I'm here just to investigate it and try to obtain that artifact and see what its nature is.
History to see if I know who Io is, right? Or
This would be a religion check.
Okay.
Hey, equally as bad. Yeah.
Cletus, you've never heard of Io. You know Cord. That's all you need.
Yeah, Cord.
Corn, roll severity. Ooh, that was one of those weeble wobble ones where it sat on 20 for just a split second, and then immediately turned over to 14. Somehow you slip Corn and you take 1 damage. Not quite sure where you were sitting or anything in this matter, but just thinking about it, you kind of like for some reason you go off balance and you just fall. Nat, I mean, you could not care less.
Whatever.
Conrad, you've heard many tales of Io. It is the great, there's different rumors and legends about it, but it's one of the old gods. One of the oldest gods, one of the most powerful, that is said to have been slain by a primordial in the Dawn War and was split into 2, which created Tiamat and Bahamut. Heard a few other weird stories. There's not really a clear grasp on who or what Io was or how they came to be or anything really. Just that it was one of the most powerful gods in the pantheon, and it was apparently split and turned into Tiamat and Bahamut. You're not quite sure if it's just tales or whatever, but it's a long dead god.
So you're looking for an artifact for this god Io? Conrad says.
He looks towards you and he's like, well, I'm not actually sure of that. I just received knowledge in an ancient text not too long ago that there was something in the temple that was left here long ago, even maybe back from the Dawn War. And I'm just here to investigate what it is and what its connection to Io is.
Okay. And I assume once your task is complete, you want go out
Escort
to
back.
back to the city?
But of course.
Okay.
and looks towards Daylock and another profound believer in Bahamut. And he, Daylock grabs his symbol. He's like, "Oh, yes, sir." Oh,
Did he say what the kind of pay would be for this?
yes. What do you guys just not hear me, or?
I heard you.
I heard you.
I
Okay.
missed it.
2,500.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
well-
2,500.
2,500 to escort him to the Mistveil Mountains. Another 1,000 to help him in his task and bring him back.
So what do you think, guys? Nat asks.
Um,
And he looks towards the group and he says, "I do ask that you give me an answer soon because, again, I leave out tomorrow."
Hmm.
We should do this.
I'd be up for it.
Well, we can do this or do something that would help test more.
Look at it this way. If we don't do this, somebody else does it, and they might also be trying to help protest, so we're taking a lot of the other people stationed here.
True. Cletus is gonna vote for doing something to help with test more, though.
Conrad's kind of agreeing with that sentiment as well.
Well, Daylock is gonna think about it.
We'll put it to a vote.
Okay, 18. Daylock his vote is he looks towards the group and he says keeps looking at the old man and he's like, "I think this man is also a follower of Bahamut, and if he's looking for a temple in Elois, I mean, for an artifact, if it's a darker artifact, then we potentially could be saving Latest."
That's a good point, Daylock, Conrad says.
What's everyone else saying?
We'll go down the line. Sin, what are you thinking?
Yes.
Okay, Sin says yes. Nat,
He says, sure.
okay. Conrad.
Conrad will nod as in yes.
Okay, Cletus.
Cletus would rather help the test, but seeing how the group is voting this way, he'll agree to this.
Damus Ares seems kind of bored by the proposition of just walking an old guy to a temple. But seeing that everyone else is okay with it, he's like, "Yeah, I'll go along with it." And Corin?
Connor will also go along.
Okay. Do you guys tell the man this?
Yes.
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 He says, "Okay, I will be venturing out early tomorrow. Please meet me down in the tavern at dawn's break."
Sounds good.
Okay.
See you then. Do you have a name we should call you besides the Hermit?
No, that is fine.
Okay.
All right.
And he nods towards you guys as he just kind of goes back to feeding his birds.
Interesting. Okay. Cletus will just go sit down at a table then.
I will ask if anyone will be doing anything throughout this evening.
Any
Conrad's
fights
gonna
going on?
Okay, one at a time. I'll go down to the list. Sin, are you doing anything fun for this evening? If you guys are going to be doing something, you want it to be a little secretive, just let me know. Just say, "I got something to do." Sin.
Yeah. Wait, what time is it?
It's like about 1 p.m. maybe.
I'm just gonna hang out in the tavern and still sleep, I guess.
Okay. Nat, what are you gonna be doing?
Drinking.
Okay. Conrad, what are you gonna be doing for the evening?
He's just gonna grab a meal and take it easy, then go to sleep.
Okay. Cletus.
Cletus is gonna look to see if there's anyone in the fight ring.
Seems pretty dead, and throughout the evening, Squawking Box doesn't get too crazy. You have a feeling that a lot of people probably spent a lot of their savings and stuff with the festival that just came through, so it's probably going to be a quiet night for the next few days at the very least.
Okay, and he's gonna ask Damasaries if he wants to step in the ring again.
He looks towards you, looks towards the ring. He's like, of course, I would love that, but I don't know if tonight would be a good idea. We don't know what we're going to be facing tomorrow, and I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be a very long, boring venture, but just in case.
Okay, that's fair.
But he smiles towards you. He's like, yeah, but don't worry, I'm just as antsy as you are to get back in the ring.
Okay. Well, if he's not gonna do that, Cletus does want to go buy something in town.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Yeah, he wants to go to the blacksmith, right?
Sure. What would you like to get over there? Anything in particular? Something super secret awesome?
Not secret, anything. He's looking for a ranged weapon, like a throwing axe or a spear of some sort.
Okay, when you get there, you do see the two familiar twin, dwarfs. Orcs and dwarfs mixed. Orcs.
Oops.
You see the very familiar dwarfs there, and they are arguing as soon as you walk in. But as soon as they see you come in, they're like, "Hi, how can we help you today?"
I'm looking for a throwing weapon. I don't know if you had like a small throwing axe, or
And,
like a...
and before you even continue, they're like, "All right, we got plenty." And the one with the long beard, like kind of guides you over towards one of the walls, and you see a whole assortment of kind of ranged throwing weapons. There are, and let me just pull up the list again. Da-da-da-da-da. They have javelins. They have they have hand axes, and they have daggers.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with a hand axe.
Okay.
I asked them,
Do you want me to go over the stats before you make your choice?
yeah, if you could.
Okay. The javelins are proficiency 2, 1d6 damage. Their range is 10 to 20. They
Okay.
count as a heavy thrown. So, those are a little bit more heavier. The dagger is 1d4. Its range is 5 to 10. Its proficiency is +3, and it is a light thrown. And then you have
Okay.
hand axes, which are proficiency 2, 1d6, range 5-10. They are heavy thrown. If you're looking for the max distance, that's going to be the javelins at 10 to 20. And they all but the dagger does. The javelin and the hand axes both do 1d6.
I'm gonna get one of the hand axes then.
Okay. It's a pretty simple but well-made hand axe. He looks towards you. He's like, that would be 6 gold pieces.
And I give him the 6 gold.
Okay. Now you are a proud owner of a hand axe.
Cool.
And will that be all for your shopping?
Yes.
Okay. You make your way back to the squawking box.
Yes.
Okay. No one really wanted to have any crazy conversations or do anything?
Corin would like to go to the 3rd floor.
Okay.
And
You
me.
do so.
And knock on Yoland's door.
Okay. You do not hear a response.
Okay, then go back down. And
Okay.
just play some
Actually-
music.
Could I go to the 3rd floor as well?
Of course you can.
Alright. He will go knock on Payne's door.
Okay.
Mm.
No answer.
Ooh.
He'll head back down then.
Nat asked them both, so where do you guys go off to?
Just
Nowhere
check
in
something
particular.
on my. Just check something in my room.
Sounds like a bluff kind of thing.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll roll anyway. Eh.
Here, I'll roll mine too.
Ooh, you bite your tongue trying to say this lie, Corn, and you take 1 point of damage. And Nat and Conrad, Nat, you do not believe Corn one bit. But Conrad seems very believable.
What was his thing?
I said nowhere in particular.
she smirks at Corin. She says mm-hmm. And then to Conrad she says okay. As long as you have fun.
Okay, and after a few moments, it's probably going to be, remind you, because you guys probably went up pretty early to go check for them. 5, 6, 7 rolls around, you guys grab dinner, I take it?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, and as you guys are all eating, you guys do hear the front door open, as you do see Yolan, Payne, Trey, and Tyriok coming from outside. They look over and nod towards Katmera, and she says, "I'll see you guys up in my room later." And they give a nod towards her and start heading up the stairs.
Okay, so I guess after he's finished with his meal now, and after like some time has passed, he'll try to do the same thing again.
Okay. You do so, and you knock on her door, and you hear a little bit of movement as the door opens up, and you see Payne sitting there in her atypical fashion nightie that you guys have now seen twice.
Okay.
And yeah, she does look totes adorable in it, but also very scary at the same time. It's a really weird mix.
Scare adorable.
Yeah, care adorable.
Horrible.
Horrible. Like, oh, how can I help you?
I wanted to talk if you have some time.
She looks towards you. She's like, I really don't have too much, but if you make it quick. Kind of like backs away from the door and gestures you inside.
He enters.
Okay. Look, Conrad hasn't learned his lesson.
How many times do we have to teach you?
Okay. Yeah, you enter in the room, and she gestures you to sit down in the chair that you first sat it down the first time you arrived in her room.
He sits.
And she kind of goes up against the wall, kind of crosses her arms. She's like, so how can Payne help you?
One of our party members, I'm not sure if you know him, Dela, the young kid.
Oh, the little one.
Yeah. So he said he used detect magic on me and believed I was a cambion. Do you know what that is?
I know what a cambion is, but darling, you are asking the wrong person about arcane what about a cambion?
It made a lot of sense to me anyway. From what I told you about my parents.
And she kind of laughs. She's like, darling, I fought in Lavernius for upwards towards 10 years. I had faced all the worst the Nine Hells have to offer, and I can tell you right now that you are no cambion.
Okay. He's just kind of nodding and like, I'm just trying to get some answers, that's all.
She looks towards you. She's like, first, I mean, you have no wings. Every cambion I've ever had to kill had wings. Two is they are very evil. And, you might be a little mischievous, once you're in the mood, and she kind of like winks at you and cracks a devilish smile, but she's like, but you're not evil. And then she pauses for a moment, and she's like, and then there'd be the dreams, and I don't think you've had to deal with anything of those natures, so you're not a cambion.
Dreams, Conrad says?
Oh, of course. Some cambion are born to succubus, and that's the more prominent type of cambions, and they're prone to share the same powers of their parentage.
Like, what do they see in these dreams?
I don't know myself. I kill cambions. I don't talk with them.
Okay, Conrad just kind of nods. Well, thank you for your time. I should probably get going. Stands
Okay.
up.
She sees you looking a little down, and she's like, "Well, if I could say any information is, seem a little down about, and you kind of asked about the dreams. From what I've learned, fighting the armies of the Nine Hells is, succubus have the unique power to venture into other people's dreams, and it is said that they can see all sorts of truths and untruths within them. Sometimes even carouse the memories of those in dreams they invade. Sometimes even gaining knowledge that the person who had experienced this, the incidences, did not recall.
Hmm.
They make for excellent spies." As she smiles.
He just kind of has like a very like pensive look to him, and he's just okay. And he starts motioning for the door, and then says, "Thank you."
And as you go to leave, like within a flash, you hear like just it's really quick. She's right behind you, turns around, she's like picks you up again for a kiss, and this one kind of has like a hug with it. And she does grab your ass and kind of like fondles your tail a little bit, but she lets you go, and she's like, "That will keep pain good for the evening."
Oh God.
He kind of has like that somewhat embarrassed smile to him, and then just continues to walk out, and then like just tries to collect himself.
Okay, and as you turn, you do feel her tail kind of loop around and kind of like stream caress your tail.
Ooh.
And as you walk out, you hear the door close behind you.
Just does a deep sigh and then walks downstairs.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
Cletus is gonna see now that it's later in the evening if there's either any women in the squawking box or the guys he saw playing cards the other day.
You see one of the gentlemen, who was playing cards that evening. He's just kind of sitting there drinking by himself. And the only ladies you see is Lady Catmera and Nat at the moment.
Okay, I will go over to the guy I saw playing cards and ask him if he's looking to play tonight.
He's like, "Ah, Nye," and he looks kind of depressed. He's like, I got to be getting back to work in not too long. My mate's still missing."
Your mate?
My mate, in here playing cards with me the other night.
Oh, he wasn't in the mine the other night, was he?
He looks real down. He's like, we're both miners.
Hmm.
He was trapped on the other side of the collapse. I don't know what became of him so far.
I'm so sorry to hear about that. I hope he's safe and sound.
Same to me. I mean, that lughead has a whole family to take care of, and can't leave him now.
Okay. Then Cletus is just gonna chill the rest of the night, get a glass of milk.
Okay. That's gonna be 2 silver. Oh no, 3 silver.
Taxes. Okay.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
Conrad's taking it easy tonight, but he's still in the bar, not
Okay.
drinking.
How late in the night is it right now?
If you guys let things pass, it's probably like 7, 8. I mean, at any time you could really choose to do anything. It's kind of a free flow time thing.
Okay.
Okay, like around 8, Corin will try the 3rd floor again.
Okay. You make your way up there, and you see the 3rd floor before you.
Before he goes up there, Nat says, "Go get him, Tiger." That's all.
And he'll knock on Jolon's door again.
You knock on her door, and after a few moments, you hear the door open, and you see Yulon there. Like, "Oh, hi."
I just, you were so nice to me that day and gave me some of that delicious wine, and I just wanted to give you something to repay you. And takes out the flower brooch.
looks at it and she blushes and she's like, "Oh, thank you. It was a kind gesture. I enjoyed my night with you as well, and if things were a little less hectic, I would invite you here this evening."
Oh, no worries. It just reminded me of your flowery personality.
And she blushes again. She's, "Thank you, little one. Very kind
Charisma
of you."
check?
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
I mean, she blushes pretty deeply.
Ooh.
She takes the brooch and kind of clasps it with both hands and kind of holds it towards her heart.
Ooh. Oh,
Says, "I thank you for this gift."
no worries.
Nat's words of encouragement have worked.
I'll try talking to you again.
Like, I
I'll
would
be-
enjoy that.
I'll be venturing out tomorrow for a quest, but after that, I'll try to get in touch.
Like, I would like that.
Okay. Have a nice night.
She nods as she slowly closes the door as you flutter away.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else taking care of anything?
Nope.
Nat says to Conrad, "They grow up so fast."
Well, you eventually see Corn come back down, and you all enjoy dinner. You guys have a few drinks if you guys would like one or two. Cletus enjoys his milk. Damasaries, as per the usual, pounds back a few large ales and even gets a bottle of wine to take upstairs. But he eventually looks towards the group. He's like, I'm probably head to bed. Make sure I get plenty of sleep before tomorrow."
Night, Damasaries.
I know,
Nods and heads
sirs.
upstairs. Daylock shortly follows afterwards.
Coronel will stay up a bit and play a little love song.
Love song?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a performance.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
natural 20. Um, those in the area, if you've ever had a longing love or a love for someone special, I would say that a tear probably rolls down your cheek. So,
Nat's,
if anyone-
Nat's crying.
Nat's
Aw.
crying.
Aw.
You guys all see Nat has a couple tears down her face. She doesn't look sad. It's very much so a happy, tearful moment. The old dwarf who Cletus talked to is sitting there drinking. Has a tear roll down his face as his mate is now gone.
Oh.
And Katmara sits there and he immediately turns away and goes into the back room.
Hmm.
You destroyed them all emotionally.
But it is a very good song, very well done, very well rendition, and the light, whimsical voice of Corrin just gives the sweet, slow, musical tenors and tone. Just, it's very lovely.
She does that thing with the elbows on the counter with her hands on her face, as just kicking her legs around while she listens in, with a smile, of course.
10 o'clock rolls around, 10:30.
Whoa. At 10 o'clock, Conrad's gonna head to bed.
Okay,
Yeah, same.
okay, you guys head to bed. Nat, what are you doing?
Oh, the bed too.
Okay, Sin, what are you doing?
Bed.
Okay, so you guys all go to bed, and
Good night.
that's where we'll end this session.
All right.
Man, some of the DMs I got during that fucking session.
Hmm?